I just don't know what you call this. This is 30 piece? 3-0? Cap all day?
Yeah, this is a landslide.
Landslide?
Slaughter. It's going down. You know what I'm saying?
Feel sorry for the man or not?
Yo, let me tell you a joke. That's what he said. He said he coming from more than that.
More than that.
Over the captain.
Hey, we live. So,
That's ancestors right here.
Y'all got the top. Oh, sorry.
Yes, sir. Captain Tazar. No, sir. Everything's taped down. Captain Tazar.
Following you? Oh, too much. Oh, yeah.
Go see my man Winston.
Yeah. That's mine. Dead man. Who? The worker here? Her? Who cares?
She said that there's Shamal over there to talk to about coming down, Ken.
They not coming. She on the number?
No.
She got found. Tell. Let me know. I'll talk to her.
Continue. Yeah, okay.
Look at this line, gonna laugh, you know.
Me. Right here. Right that camera. Nah, we should do it that specific.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right. So,
Right here, brother.
I'll give y'all. I'll come back in intermission. Hopefully, right peace. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, they right over there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, right there. See what that brother real quick, just attention everybody real quick. Just attention everybody real quick. As requested by Sonetta, and he just asked me also, there's no video recording in here for nobody's channels. Please, nobody video record. Out of respect for Sonetta and his channel, please. Thank y'all.
Phone's on vibrate.
Phones on vibrate also. You're good.
Peace, 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 peace. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Some point. Oh, that's right.
introduction,
Okay.
and then say, okay, see this.
Yeah, either one. No, this
I'm gonna do it too.
Okay.
All right.
That's the rhythm drum right
We shut the drums down.
now. You shut it down?
We take that. We miss a little bit. You scared?
You believe that too? You believe that? You believe that?
No, this shit gets wrong.
And sisters not with him right now.
Sonette. Yes. Come here. Brother, where is it? This thing plays video. They don't know how to do that. I can MC it if you want.
Peace and love, everybody. Peace. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another debate. Welcome, welcome to another debate. I am Brother Garfield, and of course this is
Brother Priest Daniela.
And today we have a wonderful debate: Africa or the Bible? Which one can we trust? Oh man, this is gonna be. Who you got? I know you ain't got nobody.
Listen, there's no question. I got the captain.
You got the captain? Oh man, I'm riding with the black hand, Malik, Zulu, Shabazz. That's who I'm riding with.
No doubt, no doubt. Okay. Well, we love Brother Malik, and you know what I'm saying, maybe next time.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm gonna wait for to get the signal from Sonnet to bring it in. But if this is your first debate that you're attending with Sonetta, let me get a right hand real quick. All right. How you like the experience so far? Is it a wonderful experience? Yes. All right, all right. Cause we need more debates. People coming out. Corona kind of messed us up, but I have memories of Kevin on trial when we put the Israelites to sleep that night. I have memories, some good memories in this spot.
That must have been that must have been in an alternate dimension, because I don't remember that.
Oh, you don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that speaking?
I remember that. I remember that.
Did you remember Captain saying, I'm not participating because I don't know about this Kevin and trial team that they got for the Israelites. You remember that part?
He didn't say that.
Oh,
He ain't
man.
signing that. He didn't say that.
Oh, man. Coronavirus virus messed with your memory, brother.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Nah. I didn't mess the time up. That was Elder Gabar. That wasn't me. That's why I didn't get a chance to speak. But it's all good.
Let me tell you about my brother right here. He represents the Lions of Israel. Smart brother. One of the few Israelites actually have to investigate his sources because he's not pseudo like most of them. But this brother here got some good stuff. It's the truth.
I appreciate that. So,
all right. Okay, the first round. Well, right now we're going to do introductions, which is 5 minutes, and then the first round is 30 minutes. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we got vendors in the back to support. We got the body butter stuff over here with the ISUPK, my brother Tazaryach's own product. We got the sister back there with the soaps. We got the food. And we got, I think we got books back there, I'm not sure. And then we got the shirts and stuff from from brother Malik, Zulu, Shabazz era right there. The shirts and the book of Khalid. Make sure you cop that, all right? Where's Malik?
Black Power. Hotel. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom alaikum. Alafia. Black laws for all black people. My name is Dashan Farad, family. I'm a journalist. Brothers and sisters, the one thing that I want us to get out of this discussion, this friendly debate, is that we all want the liberation of black people. Is that right? As Dr. John Henry Clark stated, Pan-Africanism will perish. Is that right? So if anything we can get out of this, remember that unity is our #1 goal. Oftentimes those of us that are conscious black people, nationalists, whatever you want to call us, we like having these little petty discrepancies, but that's human. As black people, we have to understand, we have one common goal, one aim, one destiny, one God, black power. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring on a warrior attorney, a brother who was an advisor to the Black Power General, who we all love, the Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Ashe? Ashe. Ashe. You know, he said that he was born to give the white man hell from the cradle to the grave. And this brother here is also in that tradition. I actually helped him write the book. I helped him edit the book on Khalid, which was the first. This book that this brother wrote, the Book of Khalid, was the first book ever, the first autobiography ever on the life of our Black Power General. So family, I'm going to bring on this brother who's a legal advisor. Not only is he the national chairman of the new Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, he is also the executive director and the founder of the Revolutionary Black Lawyers for Justice. And so just as we call brother attorney Ultimatics the attorney at war, this brother is in that tradition of Ultimatics. So please let us welcome with a strong black hand, brother Dr. Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz. Black power! 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 Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Hotel. Free the land. And black laws for all black people. Give it honor to God, and in the name of my teacher, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, I bear witness that regardless to land, label, or language, that there is but one God. In our African culture and our African history, we have always, throughout the span of time, regardless to land, label, or language, we have believed in one God. Some call that God Ra. Some say Amun-Ra. Some say Amun, depending on which dispensation in time. Some say Atum. Others call him in the name of the Creator God, Atum. Other parts of Africa we say Babaluaye. Other parts of Africa we say Obatula. We hold up one finger in Southern Africa as we are taught, and we say Unkulunkulu. Can you say that? Unkulunkulu. Oshun. Oya. Obatula. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
others say, the Most High God. The indigenous sister and brothers say, the Great Spirit. My brothers here and others in the Israelite tradition say Yahweh, Elohim. Others say Yemonja, Nakumpo, Umvelingo. I bear witness, regardless to land, label, or language, that there is but one God. And in the course of this debate, in the course of these actual facts, proof, truth, and evidence, one of the points that I'm going to prove and to disprove my opponent attack is that I will show and to prove that Africans did not worship many gods, but they worshiped one supreme being, and they manifest and they acknowledge and they praise the manifestation of the different aspects of the one God. They didn't believe in many different gods, they believed in the one God. But those who didn't understand us and those that don't understand us say different. My sisters and brothers, I will prove beyond a reasonable doubt in this debate and in this trial that Africa can be trusted well beyond the Bible, that Africa is the mother of the Bible, and that black people are the origin of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. All of it comes out of Africa, including the ISUPK, my brothers who are right here in the audience. If they're going to be Israelites, by the end of this lecture, it will be proven beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt that they are African Hebrew Israelites. And that's the only kind of Israelite to be. Black power? Black power! I will prove beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt that every prophet that they cite from the Bible, and I have mine from my minister, Minister Khalid Muhammad. That's right. I will prove in the course of this lecture, and prove in the course of this lecture that before Adam, they're going to talk about Adam and Eve. I'm going to prove it's a kindergarten religion. That Adam and Eve, Noah, Shem, Ham, everybody they cite, and they will tell you that we are from Ham. I'm going to tell you before we get going, you are the father and the mother of Ham. You are the father and the mother of Noah. You are the father and the mother of Adam. Before Adam was, you were. Before Noah was, you were. Before Shem was, you were. Before Ham was, you were. You are not to be confined to some 6,000-year-old baby book called Bible. You are the mothers and fathers of civilization. Yes, sir. Yes, before you there were none. After you will be no more. You are from everlasting to everlasting. That's time. You're going to learn today. Let's go.
Let's give Malik a round of applause, family, please. Let's give Malik a round of applause, please. That was good. That was good, but it's not enough. It's not enough. I need everybody's attention, please. Okay. So, I need everybody's attention, please. All right. So, without further ado, I want to bring to the stage my brother. We call him the Thanos of the conscious community because he done destroyed everybody else. That's right. Your teacher, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, loved the ISUPK and visited the ISUPK because I was in class when he did. And from that tradition comes this man, Captain Tazaryach of the ISUPK. Everybody say, Kwame Yashala! Kwame Yashala! Kwame Yashala!
I appreciate that intro, Daniel. All them guys he mentioned, all of them fought against each other. Remember that. From Kulu, whatever that shit is, whatever that is, they all fought against each other. There is no Atum and a Nubian and them getting along. If they did, they would only have one name.
Right.
You wouldn't need multiple names, you would have the same name. What I want to do is set the stage. This topic is, do we trust Africa or do we trust the Bible? So I want to set the stage. The brother wrote an excellent book about Muhammad. You got the video ready? Can you play that?
Is it all right? Some of you have put this book down. But the Bible is a roadmap to our liberation and salvation.
He said it's a baby book. His leader just said what? That the Bible is the roadmap to the black man's liberation.
Is it all right? Some of you have put this book down. But the Bible is a roadmap to our liberation and salvation if properly understood.
And that's why they call it a
Genesis
baby
to
book, because no way. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop. Play that again.
Revelation, the Bible actually has our history. We're living in the Bible right now, brothers and
He didn't
sisters.
say we living in Nkulu. He didn't say we living in Nkulu, Atum, Egypt, Kemet, none of that. He said from Genesis to Revelation, the Bible is the blueprint. That's his father, spiritually. That's his leader. That's where he comes from. Keep going.
Well, what is, besides the
And the so-called Jews, I say so-called, not in mockery, Brother Dominic.
Can you turn it up a little bit?
They are the so-called Jews because we are the true Jews, the true Hebrews.
Heard what he said? He said, we say the so.
And I'm going to say it's all right to talk about Jesus up in.
well, what is besides the
And the so-called
He
Jews.
said the so-called Jew. The reason why he said so-called Jew, because you have a race of white people that claim to be us. But his leader said, let's say so-called Jews because we are the true Jews. We are the true Hebrew Israelites. He didn't say African Hebrew Israelites. He said we are the true Hebrew Israelites. That's what he said. Keep playing it.
well, what is besides the
And the so-called Jews, I say so-called, not in mockery, Brother Dominic. I'm not playing to any cameras. They are the so-called Jews because we are the true Jews, the true Hebrews, the true and real Israelites.
And I'm going to say it's all right to talk about Jesus up in here with me. But I want to say here, when I speak of Jesus, I'm not talking about that portrait of Michelangelo's Palestine.
My opponent, Malik Zulu Shabazz, he don't want to talk about the white Jesus. Neither do I. But we do want to talk about that black Jesus, Yeshua, with black woolly hair. He's referencing the Bible. None of them have ever taught out of the Quran that they supposedly follow. Or African mumbo jumbo, whatever they supposed to follow. Keep playing. We got one more. Play the next one.
Don't make no mistake here. We believe in God. We believe that God is black. We believe that Jesus is black. We believe that Jesus is the black revolutionary Messiah.
He ain't say nobody from Kemet.
Don't make no mistake
African
here. We
spiritual
believe
system was the black revolutionary. He said Jesus Christ, so Yahweh Shah was the black revolutionary. So when you say, should we trust the Bible? Unless he's going to betray his teacher, we can only trust the Bible.
Right.
in God. We believe that God is black. We believe that Jesus is black. We believe that Jesus is the black revolutionary Messiah, a black man from among us. We received this book from the hands of the white man. He gave us this book. He wouldn't allow us to read it for over 300 years. He didn't want us to read this book because he knew that the book condemned him.
You can stop it. So what we're going to see in this debate, I got about 30 seconds left, is when it talks about trusting Africa or trusting the Bible, this is not about showing that this person exists, if this is a baby religion or baby belief. We're in 2022, and it's not about resources. It's about, if you want to say trust Africa, you're not talking about the continent. I ain't mad at the continent. I ain't mad at landmass. But there's the nations in Africa that sold us in slavery.
Right.
So if I can say the white man is the devil, I can say his cohorts are devils too.
Right.
I can say the same thing. Like the white man would not have been able to enslave us if we wasn't sold by the Africans. Are you?
All right, so the next round is going to be 30 minutes. It's on you, Malik.
Yes, sir. Go ahead with the video, my dear brother. 30 minutes. Let's clear the screen here. Let's Play that. Maximize it on the screen there to the far right. And turn it up. Start it at the beginning. Start it at the beginning.
Hold on, don't start the time yet. Let me get the phone so we can come down to the speaker.
We ain't come to play up in here tonight.
It don't reach.
We ain't come up in here to play at all. Don't start my time yet. My time has not started till the video starts.
Nah, no sweat, brother. What y'all would have to do is you'd have to bring that computer to where we are to hook that in. So we're going to share the same HDMI cord, you know what I'm saying? But that computer has to come over here to reach the sound.
Hold 1 second. Wait, what are we doing right now?
The audio cord doesn't stretch over there. That's why we're over here. So we have an HDMI cord. All he has to do is just take his laptop. He can sit here, plug his HDMI cord in, and then he gets the audio sound. Because you want to come out the speaker.
Well, how's it going to come out that too? How's it going to come out?
The audio is here. The audio and this is going to come here. He just has the station here.
What about the video?
Yeah, the video is going to come through the HDMI.
Brother, you have to move to enemy territory.
We're going to move out the way.
You got to move in. All right. Don't start my time yet. My time is not started, so I'll wait till he gets set up. So let me say this before my time starts, because this is not part of my presentation. This will not be a personal attack tonight. There will not be one argument. Okay, fine. Lord, there's a lot of moving and stuff. Don't y'all mess me up now.
This is for HDMI. This is for the sound. You can sit wherever you like, wherever you can sit. All right? Yes, sir.
No, hey, Cap, you know what? Yo, all we gotta do is switch HDMIs right quick. That's all.
No, that HDMI goes to there.
We're going to share the same HDMI, and then the audio is going to be over here. So this got to be the station. That can't be it.
Plug it in, my
It's
brother.
HDMI. So wherever that cord was going for that, it's coming here.
Cap, talk about the laptop.
Yeah.
I need your HDMI.
This goes here, right? And then now, the other one, this right here is for your audio. All right?
Can I put the camera over here?
Right here.
Nah, because it's going to be low.
Okay, now why is it on the screen, sir?
Yeah, we need the HDMI.
Remove it.
What cuts that? We need your HDMI.
I plugged it.
Oh, okay, that's
So now
good.
this guy gets plugged into the computer.
Take your time, brother. We putting you on the spot. Slow down. I think it's coming. All right. Press play. Is the sound coming out? Make sure the sound is coming out. All right, just be cool. Sit down and calm your nerves. Don't try to rush this. Now press to see if we can hear it.
Yes. No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay, I want to hear this. Play it. Okay, y'all gotta
Captain,
get this.
stop. We need the sound, brother.
That'll work.
It'll work? Well, let me hear it.
There it is.
Okay, there it is.
Let me hear it.
Play it.
Play.
Do you see him as your brother?
Turn it up. Turn it up.
We ready?
If you could hit play, I want to make sure.
Let's clear it up in the doorway, y'all. Clear it up, please.
As your brother.
As your Lord, see?
No, ain't no, we ain't dealing with ifs.
Turn it up. Turn it
Where you
up.
from? Where you from?
Mali and Ghana.
He from Mali and Ghana.
Start it from the beginning.
Start it from the beginning.
Do you see him as your brother?
Start it over and hold.
As your little brother.
All right.
All right, let's clean it up, please.
Now hold on. We standing up or we sitting down? There's a lot of movement
Sit
going on.
down.
Is y'all coming to sit down or what?
Before you go, do you want a 10-minute warning?
Yes, sir.
Keeping the time, so they'll give you a 10-minute.
I'm on 15. Who's keeping? You keeping time? 15. Okay, fine. 15 minutes.
One at a
time after that?
10. 15, 10, and 5. I'll take it. All right, Black Power? Black Power. Okay, let me get back to what I intend to prove here. I intend to prove that we should trust Africa above the Bible. That we should trust Africa because trusting in Africa is trusting in ourselves, trusting in our traditions, trusting in our morals, our values, our ways, our customs, trusting in our people. All 2 billion of our people, not just one small sect from a small religion. I will prove here today that religion itself, including the Israelite religion as given to us by my brothers here, is divisive. Religion is narrow-minded. Religion causes us to act like the white man. Many of their arguments today from the Bible and from their doctrine, I will show in the course of my argument, are the exact same arguments that the white slave master who came to Africa with the Bible that they held. Many of the arguments that they will profess today are the exact same arguments that white cracker missionaries came to Africa with to subject our people. It's the same doctrine of that my brothers will be preaching today. I will prove today that we must trust Africa because Africa is the mother of all civilization. And when you compare the contributions of Africa, when you compare the contributions of Kemet, when you compare the contributions of Cush and Nubia, and compare them to the biblical and the archaeological contributions of the Kingdom of Israel, it ain't no comparison. When you compare all that Africa is given to the world and you compare it to a few stones in the Sinai desert, some broken down rocks and rubble, compared to the awesome greatness of African history. Or I will be true to my teacher. My teacher taught me about baby Bible babblers and kitty Quran quoters. Baby Bible babbling and kitty Quran quotas. But let me go to my first point that I want to register and get credit for, is that religion is divisive. This Hebrew Israelite religion is practiced by my brothers. Now, don't get me wrong, these are my brothers. These are my black African brothers. The book of Hosea in the 4th and the 6th chapter say, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And because thou hast rejected the knowledge I'm about to give you, the book say, I, God, have also rejected thee. Jesus, or Yahshua, and we talk about Jesus in here, we're not talking about a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, pale-skinned, buttermilk complexion, white cracker Christ. We're talking about a black Lord, a black Savior, and a black Master. He teaches us in the book, he says, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. In your own history is written on the walls of the hieroglyphics of the Medu Neter, the supreme and sacred writings. Man must know thyself. When you talk about the Bible and you limit yourself to the Bible and you confine yourself to the Bible, you are limiting yourself to a small scope, even a pebble, of the broad universality and awesomeness of African history. Now let's see how divisive religion is and how it pits one brother against another, and it makes no sense whatsoever. Go to the video.
Do you see him as your brother? As your little brother?
If he was born here?
No, we ain't dealing with ifs. He already told you where he from. Where you from?
Mali and Ghana.
He from Mali and Ghana. Beautiful, smart young brother. Is this your people?
No.
Stop. Just that alone. That's crazy. And they all clap for it.
Yes.
That shows you how dangerous religion is. Religion will make you go against yourself. Religion will make you go against your mama. Religion will make you go against your cousin, your brother, and your grandmama, all because of an interpretation in the book which has been given to us by the white man. Black power? Black power! Black power. Black power! He should never have told his black brother who was looking for guidance from his big brother that he wasn't even his brother at all. Score me on that. Score me on that. Now let's get into my presentation because the time is cooking. Put me on the PowerPoint. Put me on a PowerPoint. Pause my time. Pause my time. We gotta have tech pause time at least. Give me tech pause time. I don't need the video no more. Okay, somebody needs to work my camera. I had a Panther brother. Brother, come work my camera. That's all right. Follow me with that camera. Okay, there he is. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Which one can we trust? Africa or the Bible? Tipping me off on Queen James. I wanted to hold that. But since you done seen it several times, and I know my opponent is going to try to talk about homosexuality, but before he even get to any allegation of alleged homosexuality, we're going to tell Queen James first. First thing we got to understand here before we get started is that what they call Israel is in Africa. What they call Palestine is in Africa. What they call the Sinai up in the corner here, I wish I could hop up on this stage. Work that camera. Well, I ain't got it right now. Plus, I like being up here better, since I occupy the higher moral and historical position. Right here is what they call the Sinai Desert, which also contains Palestine or Israel. My teacher, Khalid Muhammad, taught me that Palestine is in Africa. He taught me that Israel is in Africa, separated by a man-made ditch called the Suez Canal. Only white folks have sought to separate Israel from Africa. Only white folks have sought to separate Palestine from Africa. Palestine is in Africa. Mecca is in Africa. All of these are the Holy Land, and our Holy Land and our Zion is not just one. Come on now.
Put it on full screen. There you go.
Better keep my computer plugged in and all that. You gotta watch that. Watch my power. Come on, y'all, move out. Somebody's in front of me. Brother, you gotta move out of the way. Let me get out here. I gotta move fast. Palestine is in Africa. Israel is in Africa. Everything you study about in the Bible where you are attacking Africa, it's in Africa. But I'm facing an anti-African group, an anti-black group. Let's keep going forward. Let's go next. Well, I got the controls. 76 trillion years. This history here. Now the baby Bible babblers, let me get out. I got it. The baby Bible babblers will tell you that Adam and Eve was the first man. Adam and Eve is the first man. That's kindergarten religion. 6,000 year history, the Bible tells us, of the history of Adam coming till today. 6,000 years. Well, my sisters and brothers, if you had a graph or a chart and you put up 6,000 years, that's 6,000 year Bible history. Now I say right here from the Journal on Nature and many other sources, a whole bunch of sources, says the known remains of the human remains of Homo 1, who is the oldest Homo sapien, human like you, The remains of that human have been found to be 230,000 years old. How many years? Say it loud. How many years? 230,000. I know the Hebrew Israelites have stacked in on me, but I'm going for it, make no difference. How many years? When you compare 6,000 years on a graph to 230,000, you don't even see that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the history of the black nation is 76 trillion years old. When you compare 6,000 years on a scale of 76 trillion, it don't even register on the graph. When the oldest human remains are found are 3.5 million years old. 3.5 million years old man has been on the planet, yet we have been taught by theologians and baby Bible babblers that we are 6,000 years old. Okay, so that's the first thing that's false, is that the Bible gives us the history of our people when our history predates the Bible. We are not a 6,000-year-old people. The white man is 6,000 years old. Our history is 230,000 years old. For the Homo sapien, 3.5 million years old for human remains. Black power? Black power. Genesis. Oh, I know something about it. I'm going into the Bible today. But I'm not going to go by the Bible. I'm not going by the Bible. My teacher did not tell me to go by the Bible. He didn't say go by the Bible. He said go in the Bible. Then you will know what's happening. Genesis in the first chapter talks about Adam and Eve and Cain. Adam, Eve, and Cain, and Abel. Well, it was supposed to be on the earth, Adam and Eve, and then they had Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel, so it's supposed to be Adam, Eve, and Cain. Is that right? Yep. According to the Bible. But Genesis in the 4th chapter says, once Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, Cain left the presence of the Lord, settled in the land of Nod, and then Cain, it goes on to say, Cain then went on and took a wife in the land of Nod. So if it was Adam and Eve and Cain took a wife, where did this wife come from? Professor J.A. Rogers teaches us about the pre-Adamites. And our scholars and our scientists point out that man existed long and long before the biblical history that's given us in the Bible. This is a baby history. This is a child's history when it comes to the infinite history of the original black man and black woman. This is the Holy Land. This is our Zion. Not just one patch of desert in the sand called the Sinai Desert. Our Holy Land is in upper Egypt or upper Kemet, which is to the south, lower Kemet, which is to the north, also Cush, which is to the south of upper Egypt. This is the areas that we will be focused on today.
You got a beam on it.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
The red button, the red button.
What red button? I can't be wasting time. Let me go right now. All right, so we must trust Africa because we must trust the supreme sources of knowledge, not secondary sources or baby sources. They're going to tell you about Adam and Eve. Adam is religion. But they don't want to tell you and maybe not know about him, my brothers, so they need to know about Atum. Because long before they were Pastor Pigfoot, with the pork chop, Pastor Pigfoot, or Pastor Hogmaw with the chitlin juice running down his jaw, tells us about, and they, unfortunately, they teach, as black as they are, I don't even know if they say they black, but they teach similar teaching to Pastor Porkchop teaching. They teach a similar teaching the way Pastor Pigfoot teaches, not the way my teacher taught me. Atom was before Adam. Atom was long before Atom. Atom is the creator God, or the manifestation that of the creator in the personification of the Kemetic God Atum. And you also have the word atom, the atom of life, Atum. Later on comes a baby called Adam. The Ten Commandments. They will come and tell you today that the Ten Commandments come directly from God, come directly from Yahweh. I'm sure they come from a spiritual source. Okay, a spiritual source, but what spiritual source? The 42 laws and principles of Ma'at are the basis of the Ten Commandments. Long before you had the Ten Commandments, Dr. Yusef Ben Yakinen, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Tony Browder, and many of Egyptologists of all races bear witness that the Ten Commandments come from the 42 divine laws and principles of Ma'at. Don't tell me about the Ten Commandments unless you can tell me about my teacher taught us about Ma'at, truth, justice, harmony, righteousness, order, and reciprocity. It's represented in the form of a woman. In the form of a woman. And you'll see that once the Bible takes over, all women are suppressed and the duality is crushed in Kemet. Okay, so the Ten Commandments come from Africa. So you must say that we got to trust Africa because Africa gave you the Ten Commandments. That's right. This Exodus, they talk about we were slaves in Egypt. And these brothers will tell you that Egypt is bad. Kemet is bad. The Pharaoh is a slave master. The Africans enslaved other Africans. The African Egyptians enslaved African Jews. And they will tell you that Africa is bad. And they're teaching an anti-African teaching. And I'm here to tell you that an anti-African teaching is no good for our people. There is no evidence. This is from Haaretz magazine. This is Haaretz. This is the leading Zionist newspaper in Israel where white folks have a vested interest in proving that they belong there, and even the so-called Jew admits that it never happened. He said the reality is here that there is no evidence. Make this light work for me. The reality, please. The reality is that there is no evidence whatsoever that the Jews were ever enslaved in Egypt. Yes, there's the story contained within the Bible itself, but there is not a remotely historically admissible source. I'm talking about real proof, real archaeological evidence, state records, and primary sources of these. Nothing exists. What exists? Nothing. What exists? It goes on here, it says it's hard to believe that 600,000 families, which would mean about 2 million people, crossed the entire Sinai without leaving one shred of pottery with the Hebrew writing on it. Goes on to say that this whole Exodus story, this whole Passover that they're going to teach you about, there's no proof that it ever happened at all. There's no proof that there is there. There's no proof that there were any slaves in Egypt for over 400 years. There is no proof that Genesis 15 and the 13 was fulfilled then. That was only symbolic. There's not, of all supposed to be 2 million people. 1/4 of the Kemetic or Egyptian population leaving Kemet, and it ain't one poem, one piece of pottery, one artifact to show that it's true. Because it's not true. They were never slaves in Egypt. Ramesses was never drowned in the Red Sea. And the Passover story is not true. Well, and what's another proof of it's not true? Sorry to bust you up. Bust them up. That's prophecy. It's symbolism. You and I are the only people that have ever been in a land that is not a home for 400 years. You and I are the fulfillment of Genesis in the 15th chapter and the 13th verse. didn't happen then, it's only symbolic of what's happening now. 75% of what you read in the Old Testament pertaining to the Hebrew or the Israelite is prophetic. Only 25% actually happened, and the slavery wasn't part of the 25%.
10 minutes.
Africa is not bad. The pharaohs are not bad. Kemet is not bad. Anybody on the streets of America teaching that Africa is bad, Egypt is bad, that Kemet is bad, I say that they are against the unity of all African people, and if nobody will put a stop to it, I damn it, I'll put a stop to it today. Black power? Tired of the falsehood. Africa is the origin of civilization. Africa and Kemet and Egypt are the origin of civilization, which you must trust, because if you compare Africa to the contributions of the Israelites, it ain't no comparison.
No comparison.
You're talking about the greatest civilization ever known to man by Africans.
Yes.
Some of the 8 wonders of the world still standing against a few piles of rubble. A few piles of rubble. It ain't no comparison. How can you trust the contributions of the Kingdom of Israel over Africa? Let's go into it. Imhotep. I'm Imhotep. Master architect, master pyramid builder, master of medicine. He's a black man from Africa like you. Is there a Hebrew in the scripture that can compare to Imhotep?
Hell.
Is there a metaphysician that has made world history from the Israelites or Israel like Imhotep? Yes or no? No. Akhenaten, one of the founders of monotheism, although we practiced it all along from the beginning. The Sphinx, Abu el-Haww by the Arabs, one of the greatest sculptures or piece of architecture ever in human history, still standing today. The pyramids, the 8 wonders of the world, still standing today. Still 8 wonders, the only one of the 8 wonders of the world still standing today. Africa, the same, and you will come on the streets, and my brothers who I love, how can they teach against this? How can they go on the streets and tell young brothers that this is bad, and this is evil, and this is the benchmark for all civilization and the basis for black confidence? Let's just go on to a few accomplishments. I gotta run. Africans. I say it, mummification, the preservation of life for the dead. Africans originated mathematics. In history books, Greeks take the credit for inventing mathematics, but it's the Kemetics or the Egyptians that invented mathematics. Is it anywhere in the Bible or anywhere in their history where anybody in the Bible invented mathematics? Anywhere where an Israelite or a Hebrew invented mathematics? Talk to me.
No, sir.
I know you out here, you didn't believe what you believe in. I'm here to bust it up. There's nothing in the history of any of these Bible characters, even if they did exist, that compared to the contribution of the original black man and woman. You must trust the original source, not some secondary source. Where is the proof of Moses? Where is the proof of Abraham? Where is the proof of these prophets? Where are their writings? Where are their writings? The Old Testament. When we talk about the hieroglyphics, the sacred writings of the Medu-Neter, they were written down contemporaneously or at the same time. In the practice of law, when we talk about the weight of evidence, contemporary or contemporaneous sources supersede anything that was written down much later. The hieroglyphics of the Medu-Neter were written down contemporaneously. You can see it stands to this very day. The Old Testament, when they write the history, it wasn't even written down till 563 BC. Kemet was founded in 3000 BC, and the Upper Kemet from Menes or King Narmer from Ethiopia, and our history has been written down from the beginning because we invented writing. They just wrote this down 3,500 years later, try to tell you what happened 2,000 years before, and you wonder why he can't be trusted. Black power? Let me get out of this. Medicine. Black man is the father of medicine. Show me one in the Bible that's the father of medicine. Lord, pyramids. Lord, libraries. Kemet, Egypt, Africa. The father of all libraries. Name a Bible or one from the kingdom of Israel that created a library. Government. Africans and Kemetics, government. You want me to prove it? I'll come back to you. We invented government. We invented the calendar and the clock. We invented cosmetics. Not just Egypt. This ain't just about Egypt or Kemet. Your history dates back even further south into Kush. I got you. Kush. 5 minutes on your Kush. A great empire. African. Name, show me something in Israel that compares to it. Kushite Empire, right below Kemet. It's all, we're not just talking about Kemet, we're talking about Kush. Can you say it? Kush. Yeah, you've been taught to say Israel, but you can't even speak your own African language.
Wake them up, wake them up.
Look at the beautiful jet black, blue black, purple black woman from Kush. Black power? Look at that, look at that. Let me move. Now let's look at Israel's accomplishments. Let's look at what Israel has brought to the world. Israel, hold on, Lord. I gotta go back to this, quick, fast. Pause my time, man. Technical difficulty. Give me a break, man. Shit, give me a break. Pause my time.
Pause it, it's on, the laptop going.
Hold on, give me back, man. Shit, sorry. Boy, it's a lot. This took me a long time. I'm trying to squeeze it in. What's up? All right, now watch my power. Don't let my power go out.
Plug in.
Here we go. Now you've seen all the accomplishments. You've seen some. You ain't seen nowhere near the accomplishments of Israel. Pardon me, of Kemet. You haven't seen near about the accomplishments of Kemet. What did Israel, y'all work with me. Pause my time for a minute, man. Just because of technical difficulties. Give me a minute. Just preserve me 3 minutes, please. I'm begging you. Right here. Thank you. Shoot. Let me slow down for a minute. You've seen the accomplishments of the original man. Your foremothers and forefathers and your foremothers and forefathers. Now let's look at the accomplishments of the kingdom of Israel as we can look at them in history. The pyramids are still standing. Even though Napoleon blew the nose off the Sphinx is still standing. Well, what has Israel given us? This is the most impressive things they have. A pile of damn rocks. That's it. And you telling me trust that over this? A pile of rocks. These are the top archeological sites in Israel. They don't even know what it means because it all fell down because it's not all the way from the original man. This is the most impressive art thing they have. Is the Masada, and this was built in 70 BC. This is the only thing that's standing. I don't even know what it is. But I tell you this, it don't compare to Africa, it don't compare to Egypt. How are we gonna trust that? It don't compare. Let's go back to the beginning. I know I'm racking up points. Because if you trust anything other than this, you out of your black mind. And we're coming back to the beginning now. Now my opponent, his only attack is going to be able to try to interject some allegations of homosexuality. His only, but I would tell you this, and I'll get back to it. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I said it. I said that the Hebrew Israelite and their teaching of the Bible is just the same and is similar to the white man's teaching of the Bible. A Bible-only doctrine, a white missionary telling you that black people are pagans, that black people religion should be rejected, same as a white man. They want to talk, they're going to bring up some allegations of homosexuality, which I will rebut. But let's talk about the book that they're going to swear by, King James. Now they say the white man is the devil, but this is one white man they won't attack. But Queen James was a sissy. Queen James was a faggot. Michael Young in his book, King James and the History of Homosexuality, and in the other book, David Bergwijn, King James, Homoerotic Desires. This is the King James of 1611, not no other King James. This the Bible translator is gay. Let's see how they get around that. It says here, James's favorites had a negative impact within the royal family and in the nation of Islam. Contemporaries raised the specter of sodomitical court and effeminized nation. Queen Anne encouraged a marital split and molded her oldest son to be more manly than his father. Repercussions continued after James' death. This goes on. My time is running. I can come back to the details of it. James was a homosexual. James is a sissy. That's a good point to end. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black
power. All right. Malik came with that energy. So now next up we have Captain Tazaryach coming back up. He has 30 minutes to give his rebuttal and his information. Hopefully everybody's paying attention. If I'm not mistaken, Sonnet, at the end of this debate, there's going to be a chance for the audience to ask questions. So make sure you guys are paying attention to what's coming out. And at the end, you're going to be able to ask questions, right, Sonnet, the last round? They're going to be able to ask questions?
Yes.
All right, so make sure you guys are paying attention. And when you come up, just ask your question, and that's it. We don't need a sermon. We don't need a soliloquy. Ask your question of either guy, and that's it. You ready, Cap? All right, operation time will start once you're ready.
He might need about 20 more minutes. I don't know what he thought the subject was, but what I did like was that he played that video with that little African boy, and he said, we are insane. Wait, don't play it, please. He did play that video with that little African boy, which was insane, and I always tell y'all, Sinetta does excellent editing work.
Right.
Now, I'm going to show you the difference between a free man and a slave. I wouldn't feed him because his ancestors enslaved us.
Right.
Yeah, my time starts now. That's why I wouldn't feed him. I ain't feeding him because he got brown skin. There's another video we got when Sinetta asked me if I would feed a little white boy. I said, no, he liked that. Whatever. Oh. Stop my time. Stop. Stop my time. So anyway, I wouldn't feed that little white boy and nobody care. Because y'all suffer from colorism. I don't suffer from colorism. I suffer from wanting vengeance against my enemies.
Right.
So now, let's see if the smart one, now he put the boy up. Let's see if the boy is just as smart as me. Play it.
And I was persecuting your people. I didn't care about your sons.
If you terrorizing my people when I was at a young age, when I get older, I would hate your people and you. If you terrorizing my people when I was at a young age, when I get older, I would hate your people and you.
In that same interview, that little African boy, because he's a free man, said, I'm not gonna lie, if you were terrorizing my people when I got older, I would hate you and your people. That's why we hate Africans. That's right. Give me the next slide. Let's find out if you can trust Africa or not. This is one go to the next slide. Let's see if we can trust Africa. So now, first here we have African countries involved in the slave trade. Now what's interesting about do we trust Africa, it's like 40 to 50 countries. So when you say go into Africa, where exactly are you going to go that they're going to accept you? So now this is just 11 of the countries that were involved in it. You got Egypt, you got Ashanti, Ghana. Y'all love that Ghana. They go to Ghana like it's something. So now these are 11 nations. So are we going to go to any of these nations and trust that they won't enslave us again when slavery in Africa is taking place today? Today in 2022, they are still enslaving each other because they are not united, they are divided. Next slide. How many languages? In Israel, we only have one language, Hebrew. When he mentioned them gods, he did like 10 different gods, 10 different languages. In reality, there's over 2,000 native languages that you would have to pick and learn. That further divides us. We are divided enough. If you ask somebody who they are, they're going to say, I'm Christian, Methodist, Muslim, whatever it is that they are. We have to have one belief. That's our unity. Our unity is not in division. We can't be 10 different things and think we're going to come together, because if you have one culture and you add another culture, they're going to conflict with each other. Keep going. African religions. It says African religious belief and practices of the peoples of Africa. It should be noted that any attempt to generalize the nature of African religions risks wrongly implying that there is homogeneity among all African cultures, because they don't get along like he's trying to tell you. The way the Dogon worship is not the way the Ashanti worship. It's not the way the Nigerian worship. It's not the way the Zimbabwean. They do not mix and match at all. Give me the next slide. This is African religions just in West Africa. So you got the Bawi, Akan, Domi, Eric, Edo, Hasua. It took me a long time to even try to remember how to say this. Dogon, Voodoo, Yoruba. Which one of them y'all gonna pick? It would be the same problem in America where y'all pick whatever religion makes you feel good. Give me the next one. That's just in West Africa. In South Africa, you got the Bantu, you got the San religion, traditional, indigenous. Remember, this is supposed to be, do we trust Africa? What part of Africa are you going to trust? Right. Play the next one. Listen. Now, it said, do we trust Africa or the Bible? In my research, I stopped at 900. There's over 900 gods and goddesses. We only have one God. Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. We don't need a multitude of gods. Linguistics estimate that nearly 2,100 native languages are spoken. In our language, we only speak one. So if I said Deuteronomy 6:4 in Hebrew, I'd say Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Allah Hayana wa Yahweh Akkad. One language. Over 3,000 different ethnic groups. So who are you? That's the biggest problem that plagued black people in America. Who are you? There's over 3,000 different ethnic groups. You don't even know who you are. Give me the next slide, Kai. Oh, now, he brought up this homosexuality with King James. We'll cut that in the rebuttal round. He also, remember, Khaled said to believe in the Bible. And he thought he believed in the Bible. The Bible does not say that Adam and Eve was the first man and first woman. Don't teach that. The Bible also don't say it's 6,000 years. That's the white man doing that. That's not us doing that. And to show you the proof that the Bible trumps, if you give a date, if it's BC or AD, that's because of Christ. They had to change it to common era and before era. Before that, it was before Christ and after death. So even your timeline is based on a man that you say don't exist. Oh, he can't say don't exist because he believes in him. So now, this is a New York Times article. We're going to find out if we can trust Africa or not. Malcolm X, when he got kicked out of the Nation of Islam, which he's a Muslim, they are not united at all. All they do is hate each other in Islam. Hate each other so much that the man that killed Malcolm was allowed to go to the North Muslim Mosque and live his life out. And they knew he killed Malcolm. Worked with Booker in North Mayor, and they knew he killed him. There is no brotherhood in Islam. So now the New York Times article, it says, Malcolm X seeks to go to Africa to talk to the Negro leaders, to the African leaders, to get assistance. Next slide. Let's read. It says in Washington, D.C., Washington, Malcolm went to Cairo and told his friends because he saw, y'all familiar with the apartheid in South Africa, right? There's a major global issue. And so because of that global issue, he said, if these people are fighting for South Africa and apartheid, for sure they're going to fight for other black people in America and our oppression, right? Because we're supposed to trust Africa. Africa love us. So now, as he go there, and it says, in passages in Malcolm memorandum indicated that he encountered resistance. So when he go talk to 31 African leaders, The resistance he got was this. Some African leaders at this conference, he said in his memorandum, have implied that they have enough problems here on the mother continent without adding the Afro-American problem. That's what Africa told them. And I'm supposed to trust Africa? Give me the next slide. Now, when Malcolm hear that, this is what Malcolm say. Malcolm say, with all due respect to you esteemed positions, I must remind all of you that a good shepherd, now he quoting the Bible, he said we can't trust. The good shepherd will leave 99 sheep at home and go to the aid of one who is lost and fallen. Now he's pleading with them to save them. And he did nothing for Malcolm. Nothing at all. And all Malcolm did, just like Khalid, just like this brother doing, is praise and glorify Africa. That's your Wakanda. Wakanda is Africa, it's a pipe dream. That's all it is. Slovakia. It says the American government is either unable or unwilling to protect the lives of 22 million. So why won't y'all protect us? Because they sold us. Give me the next slide. Oh, get worse. Give me the next slide, Kyle. Why did Ethiopia's prime minister blame African Americans for victimization? Ethiopians like the nastiest Africans out there. When I say nasty, because of their treatment of us. They think they're better than other Africans, so for sure they think they're better than you. So now this is 2020. Abiy Ahmed, the prime minister of Ethiopia, who came to power primarily as the result of the Oromo protests, and I'm going to show you how they take advantage of your pain. He said, in the protest, he talked about cultural attitudes behind different communities. Relative success twice the last 2 years by comparing the development of the so-called Jews and the underdevelopment of African Americans. And this was his argument. Remember, we're supposed to trust Africa. It says, Abai argued that the so-called Jew had become prosperous and powerful Americans by forgetting their past oppression. Is that true? Do the so-called Jewish man forget about the Holocaust? Hell no. They lock up 98-year-old Germans to this day because the Holocaust means something to them. If you say something on TV about them, they lock you up. And the song all about the Benjamins, Jadakiss couldn't even say stack chips like Hebrews without it getting edited out. They edited it out because you can't say nothing about them. But he says we have to be like them. Then it says, while blacks have caused their own suffering and underdeveloped by focusing on past victimization. Now you look at the history of black people in America, you try to get along with them with marches. Not Martin Luther King had a 9-mile march. Why would he say something like that if we're supposed to trust Africa? This is the prime minister that got into office. Keep that word, Oromo youth protest, keep that in mind. Give me the next slide, Kyle. It says 78, this is his quote, and he won a Nobel Peace Prize, by the way. 70, 80 years ago in the United States, 2 groups of people were discriminated against. The Jews, so-called Jew, and the blacks. The so-called Jew people used to be tortured in prison, denied jobs. The black faced the same fate. You know, the Germans killed the Jews, and many of those survived, fled to America. Israel didn't exist. The so-called Jew made a decision as a people. They said we were tortured, oppressed, discriminated against. If we merely continue to talk about the past, we won't go far enough. We have to have a winning vision. He's glorifying the so-called white man. So we're already in a state where the so-called white man is glorified and we're on the bottom. You want to go to a continent that is now glorifying a white man and putting you on the bottom too. You can't trust Africa at all. On the other hand, the blacks continue to sing and complain about being oppressed and tortured. So we can't talk about our pain. They killed George Floyd. Keep George Floyd in your head. They killed George Floyd, Tamir Wright. We can't complain about that. We got to get over that. That's what he just said. We continue to sing and complain about being oppressed and tortured, saying the white did this and white did this, did that. To this day, blacks have not gotten anywhere. When the white man actually left us alone, we had the best part of our life. During segregation, when we was united, that's why you have HBCUs. You know why they're historical? Because once the white man bombed Black Wall Street, you don't have no more. Where's our stores at? The vendors back here? This is how we have to start. And make sure y'all patronize every last vendor, because why do we have to do like this? Because our businesses are gone. Give me the next slide, Kyle. Now, this is what I mean about trusting Africa, and the Wakanda is our pipe dream. Now, at the same time that this prime minister in 2020 says that about black people and how we don't get over pain, in 1935, it says Harlem's forgotten fight to save Africa's last uncolonized nation. So just like Malcolm loved Africa, Harlem loved Africa. And in 1935, it says Harlem, New York, the summer of 1935, years before the United States or even Allied Europe had entered World War II, large crowds of African Americans are gathering around a desk, volunteering to take on a fascist Italian dictator who's soon to become Hitler's fiercest collaborator. So as poor as we, oh wait, let me read that part. Black Americans have enough battles of their own, this is in the article, have enough battles of their own to fight every day on American soil in the midst of the Great Depression and enduring Jim Crow. So at the same time we're in the Depression, we suffering Jim Crow. But the news has just come from Africa. We want to galvanize and go and fight for Africa. So how come we can love Africa, but Africa don't love us back? That's why you don't trust them. If you was in a relationship with a man or a woman and you giving, and they not doing nothing, you're going to stop trusting him. You're going to stop trusting her. Next slide. All right, that's your will. Almost all volunteers were blocked from leaving the U.S. government, so the U.S. would not let them fight for the Ethiopians. It said threatened imprisonment, but they was willing to get locked up just to fight for the Ethiopians. Has any African country been willing to get locked up to save us since we've been in America? It's been about 500 years. Maybe y'all can tell me if they have or haven't. I haven't heard of it, right? Give me the next slide. Now look at this picture. You see, this is where the Harlem people was volunteering for the Ethiopians to register for them. So the same prime minister that said, oh, we talk about our pain, this is them actually going to volunteer. Now look at this picture over here. It says, Ethiopia is George Floyd. So at the same time, the prime minister is saying we can't talk about what the white man is doing to us. He uses what the white man is doing for his campaign to get in office. This is just like the white man. When he say we act like the white man, Africans act like the white man. When they see you, they do not see you as their people. They see you as something else. They don't associate, they don't affiliate. I'll show you more. Give me the next slide, Pat. When it comes to our pain, they only see their own. On July 22nd, a section of Ethiopians held a demonstration in Addis Ababa condemning whatever that Tigray People's Liberation Front, and calling on international community to understand the context of continued military operations. Tigray has experienced a conflicting pitting against the national forces since November 2020. The slogan, Ethiopia is George Floyd. So your prime minister won't let you talk about your pain, but they will use your pain to liberate themselves. And I'm supposed to trust that? That's what, this debate is not about all that retarded ass stuff he brought up, which will be debunked, but it's about, do we trust it? Even the stuff that he said doesn't match in the Bible, none of it at all. Give me the next slide, Tazar. Give me liberty, give me Liberia, or give me death.
15 minutes.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm moving faster than I thought. Might get a good up in there, might get a good on the time. He just got about 40 minutes to speak. He talking about you time. He hurt. He hurt. He hurt. Give him a right platform. Fuck this nigga up. Do something for him. He talking during my time. I ain't talking. Hold my time. Give me 10 more seconds. Don't do that. Don't do that. Continue on. Slow your roll. Continue on. Give me Liberia or give me death. They saying we should go back to Africa. Has that ever been done? Have we ever went back to Africa? Let's read and find out. Let's read. On the 12th of April 1980, a band of 17 men stormed Liberia's presidential palace. Despite being only low-ranking soldiers in the army, they decided to take matters into their own hand. Now, these are Africans going against what you're going to find out are black people that went to Africa. I told you I was going to tear your boy up. So now, finding the president sleeping in his bed, they killed him on the spot. After this bloody deed, the insurgents rounded up almost all the members of the cabinet, which were black people, black Americans. I'm saying black Americans on purpose. The leader of the coup was Samuel Doe, an indigenous master sergeant of the Liberian army, proclaiming himself general. He quickly implemented his own version of swift justice. Next slide. The group had ruled Liberia. Now let's talk about the black people that went to Africa. Because we're supposed to go back to Africa, right? They're gonna get along and love each other, yada, yada, yada. So this group had ruled Liberia since its founding in 1847. Descendants of former slaves and free African Americans who made their way back from the U.S. to the mother African continent. That kept a tight rein on power in the country. Back in America, they were citizens of a second category. They differed from the native Africans they found themselves among, though, in language, culture, and education. I'm sorry, let me slide back. President William Tolbert, the man executed by the conspirators when they entered the exit. That's just, you can go to the next slide. I'm sorry. No, second. Yeah, you can go to the next slide. Thank you. Says all power in the country was concentrated in the hands of Americo-Liberians. That's what they call the black people that came to Liberia. Why wouldn't they just be called Africans? Why they got to be called American? Wouldn't that divide us? If you have some people called Africans and the other people called African Americans, don't that keep us divided? If we're the same, just call them all Africans. They're making a distinction because they are different. It says never making up more than a small percentage of the total population of the country. They ruled over the rest of the group through the true Whig Party. They controlled the government, economy, and state. Societal inequalities this system generated caused much resentment among majority population. Meaning, when they came over there, because about 12,000, that's like 12 high schools. So that should be enough. It's like 12 high schools. So they should have been able to come in there, it wouldn't have been no problem, but it gave resentment. This boiled over into enormous anger culminating Samuel Doe's coup of 1980. The native African soldiers put the top government officials on the show trial and condemned them all to death and publicly executed all of them. In the grisly scene, these former rulers were executed. All the men who met their end were of African American descent, meaning they did not kill their own people, they killed black people. Next slide. Yeah. But y'all want me to go to water, sir? Everybody want me to go to Africa, man. Hell no. While the African Americans who immigrated to Liberia were often of the same skin as the other natives, in culture they could not be more different. The former slaves, they viewed themselves as pioneers conquering new land, bringing civilization to the natives. Because we're different, we're not the same. Much of Liberian history was marked by the conflict between the settlers and the natives. The African tribes resented the encroachment of these newcomers of their land. They often attacked the settlers, which would encourage attacks. Another issue at the play was slavery. Here's also another important part. Another issue at play was slavery. The tribes of the Windward Coast profited from the slave trade. So even though they came to Africa, that place that they went to was still selling slaves to America. That was still their business. Still their business. And it says, acting as middlemen in the business. This, of course, was another reason for constant conflicts with the African American settlers who, as former slaves or their descendants, wanted to eradicate it. So we've had the go back to Africa experiment. It was a failure. A straight failure. They failed Malcolm, they failed the Ethiopians, they failed the black people in Harlem, they failed these brothers. They failed them all. You got the next slide? America among 15 arrested during Black Lives Matter protests in Uganda. Now, again, they used George Floyd, but in Uganda, they arrested black women for peacefully protesting the death of George Floyd. And here's what the lady said. So now I'll read some of it. Several Americans among those arrested during the anti-protest in Uganda's capital. The protesters were rallying against racism and brutality in the wake of the death of George Floyd. U.S. citizen Kelsey Nielsen, 30, who lives in Kampala, told ABC News she was among 5 Americans who were arrested for Tuesday's demonstration. This is her quote. "This just highlights how much more offensive globally it is to stand up for black lives and black liberation than it is to hold perpetrators of anti-black violence accountable." But she's in a quote-unquote black continent. Why would they have had an issue with her protesting the death of George Floyd when they just used it to talk about the Ethiopians and say they were George Floyd? Because they will take advantage of you just like who? The so-called white man. Psalms the 83rd chapter say they are confederate against us. That's the white man, the Arabs, the Chinese, Japanese, and look, they're all in your neighborhood. And you know why they're able to get in your neighborhood? Because you are divided. You have to find a belief system, like his leader said, Genesis to Revelation is the roadmap to our salvation. His leader said that. His leader did not mention none of them gods that he's talking about. None of them at all. Next slide. Slavery, oh, let's talk about slavery. Slavery was prevalent in many Western, do I want this? Can we do Acuna now? What was some of that?
8 minutes.
Oh, give me to Acuna, all the way to Acuna, please. Oh, right? Ooh, right here, perfect. It says, Haiti is one of us, it's just not African enough. The African Union denies Haiti membership. I don't know nobody that try to be more African than the Haitians, maybe the West Indians. Right, Garfield? Y'all try to be African, right? So now, the Haiti, it says, barely weeks after many cheered Haiti's scheduled acceptance as a member of the African Union, they were denied entry into the African Union. And Haiti, so that's the part that bugged me out the most. Haiti is poor as hell. That African Union, if they loved black people, would have not only brought them in the Union, but they would try to liberate them because that would inspire them. Can you imagine you trying to join this continent? You join the continent, that might uplift you out of your poverty state. But they said he wasn't African enough. But the Brazilians was African enough though. They did join up with the Brazilian because the Brazilian has resources. They have money. They have influence. So it makes it greater. Now, if you talk about trusting the Bible, go to the next slide. I'll show you how we trust the Bible. So now, for us, we trust that Bible wholeheartedly. So when the Haitians was jammed up from us, let's play what we did. I'm talking about Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the power of that Bible. Play it.
Most of us saw last night, a group of Americans were giving out
Can you bring it back? Can you bring it back? Can you bring it back? Let me show you something. This is the power of that Bible. This is the power of that book. And if all of us did what this is going to play, we wouldn't need Africa, Arabs, whites, Chinese. We wouldn't need nobody, just us. Play it. Slide.
Most of us slept last night. A group of Americans were giving out food, water, and clothes to Haitian migrants on the
Now, y'all may not be familiar with this story, but there was Haitians trapped in Acuna, Mexico under a goddamn bridge. Nobody fed them. Nobody did nothing for them. When the Arabs was going through their turmoil, they brought them to America, put them in Airbnbs. When the Haitians went through them, they put them under a tunnel, under a bridge. Nobody fed, nobody cared, nobody did nothing for them except us. Play it.
Just across from Eagle Pass, were a little shocked last night around midnight to see men dressed
Y'all like to talk about how we dress, but in y'all regular clothes, y'all do nothing for black people. Right. In your regular clothes, in your Jordans, your Nikes, your Timbs, and that garment right there, look at y'all just out looking glorious. Y'all look at them looking glorious. And they went into Acuna, Mexico, and to show you, so y'all might think Acuna, Mexico like going to Cancun. Hell no. Because they get into Acuna, and the brother right block, I said I'm block. This is one of the brothers that went to Mexico. I forgot, where you got one? Where you at? Stand up, Gabor. These are brothers that went to Mexico and loved me enough to come see me destroy this Negro. See me destroy him. Now, as they going into Acuna, Mexico, they had to take the drug cartel route. Right. And maybe y'all don't know, you died on the drug cartel route. Say they give a lot up? You died going on that drug cartel, right? These brothers didn't die on the drug, but they did risk dying for their brother. That's right. That's what they did risk under that Bible. Play the rest of it. Keep playing.
Hispanic men in a caravan of 12 cars and a rental truck stopped on the other side of the border.
Where you from, buddy?
Now,
where you from?
He gonna tell you, this brother that's about to speak, he gonna tell you what made him do what he did. Replay it.
Where are you coming from?
Austin, Texas.
You're from Austin, originally from Austin.
Austin, Texas, right.
So where you live?
In Austin, Texas.
In Austin? So you came all the way from Austin to what? For what?
I came out to assist and to help the Haitians because according to the Bible, the Haitians are the Levites in the Bible. The same way the Mexicans are the Issacharites in the Bible. We are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. We are really God's chosen people who Christ died for. We are one family.
Together in San Antonio.
Now, I'm sorry, you keep playing. I'm gonna let him play. How much more time is it on? Is it a lot left?
Got the stuff that
is a lot left in the video?
About 40 seconds.
Go ahead, play it. Let it play it.
The material as far as the water, the fruit that we gave out,
That's all what we did of our own. Pause there for a second. These brothers gathered this money on their own. It's about what, $10,000? $10,000 bring water, food, diapers, clothing to people that nobody else cared about. For sure, the Africans didn't care about it. They said they wasn't African enough. But we did, though, under that Bible. So when you talk about do we trust Africa or trust the Bible, I just gave you 3 examples of them betraying us. Let alone the history of them enslaving us. If you don't forgive the white man for what he did, how could you forgive Africa for what they did? Because Africa to you is Jada Pinkett, and you niggas is Will Smith. It don't matter what Jada do, you gonna forgive and defend that nigga all day. You gonna defend Jada Pinkett, so what? Don't say nothing, don't do nothing, don't talk about Africa, don't do this. What the hell with Africa? I'm being disciplined, General. I'm being disciplined. Slack it, sir. Is there any more of this video? Play it, please. Because there's one more thing I want to say.
Together, we bought that today.
In this video, y'all know the Haitians speak Creole, right? Creole. Pause it. Haitians speak Creole. If I could just point out one more, bro. Where y'all Tazar? Where y'all Tazar? This brother right here is in New York City. When these brothers go into Mexico, you know the one thing they can't do when they get to that land? They can't speak Creole at all. And you know what them brothers did? Hooked up a speaker like this, called this brother on the phone, and he spoke to them in Creole. He got them in line. He got them in order. That's what a body does. That's what a body does. That's my time? That's what you getting up for? Y'all see him? I got 2 minutes, right? Y'all see him? He's nervous. Get this boy a diaper, some milk, get him something, and he's still talking. He's still talking. Look at him. He hurt. His brother hurt. Look at him. Look, you want the mic? Wait, no, you got it. Just say nothing. I'll give you the mic. I'll give you another minute. You need to talk. I'll let you talk. I'm going to let you get it 1 more minute, but I'm going to say, just say nothing. You know we won already.
Right.
We call that a 30 in battle rap. We call that a 30. It's a 30. It's a 30. It's a 30 in battle rap. Now, I'm down. I'm going to yield my time. But
your mic is always got a mic over there.
Let me get the soda mic. Let me get the mic on the sleeve, my God.
I forgot it was on. You also have a mic over there too.
He's trying hard. My votes can count.
yeah, I know. You know what I know? You got a mic right there. You want the power. You want my mic.
I want.
He want the power. He want the power. Come on, mic, man.
Is this on my chest right?
Hey, and the UPK, he would learn not to.
All right, now first of all, I gotta let the audience know and everybody know that I'm inside an ISUPK temple, okay? I'm in another city and they have dominated the numbers here, and I'm like no comparison, but it's similar to Jesus going in the temple amongst the so-called Jews. This is the reigning religious order here, and I'm coming here to challenge them and overturn this false teaching. This teaching, let me say this before I get going. Start my time.
Wait, hold on.
Start my time?
No. This round is 15, right?
No, this is 30.
Both 30 minutes? Y'all changed
Yeah,
it?
they said I could take whatever, but
I thought it was 15. Nobody told me 30.
How many minutes is round?
15. No, it's supposed to be 15.
All right, we're taking 15.
Thank you. It was originally 20 and 20.
I want 15, so we can go back and forth.
Yes, 30.
Okay, so you must know, those in the radio listening audience, that the Israelites have stacked up in here, and it don't make no difference to me. I'm like Khalid Muhammad. Okay, so let me just wipe out a few lies from the beginning. Everybody knows here that Khalid Abdul, that was a misconstruction of the evidence by my opponents, because Khalid Abdul Muhammad at no time said that the only solution of our people was in the Bible from Genesis to Revelations. He never said that. He said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us the proper interpretation of the Bible, and from that interpretation would be a roadmap to our liberation. Some of these teachings you have taken from Elijah yourself, such as the white man is the devil. You get that from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay, now, okay. Black power? You ain't get this teaching from yourself, this black Hebrew Israelite, white man is the devil teaching. You got it from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Black power? We want to be everything but ourselves. African people want to be, and black people want to be everything but ourselves because we have been taught to hate ourselves, and the one that we taught to hate, the one who taught us, y'all got to be still. Get still. I'm running around up in here. This is a battle. The battle, the Bible says, is for the minds and hearts of our people. Elijah Muhammad said the Bible is a poison book. It's a poison book, and only if you are divinely inspired with the right interpretation can it be trusted. Other than that, it's like dynamite. It's like high explosives in the hands of children. Okay, so it is the white man, the Bible-toting white man, that arguments are exactly the same as the Bible-toting Israelites. It is the Bible-toting white man. We want to be everything but our black selves. We want to be everything but African. If you send us over here to give a black man one karate class, he gonna come out slacking his eyes and talking Chinese and acting like he's a Chinaman because he hates his black self. We want to say we are indigenous. We're not even from Africa, that we are indigenous, so we want to walk around with feathers in our head like we're Indian because we hate being African. Everything you heard up here is anti-African, anti-black, an attack on Africa. But the bottom line to it is, if you can't go to Africa, where the hell you gonna go? You can't go to Israel. I have been to Africa. You have not been to Africa. And you cannot get into Israel. Israel is not a home to you, and you will not be allowed into Israel, and you'll never get into Israel unless you join the all-African struggle against Zionist Israel. You haven't been to Israel. You ain't been to Palestine. You haven't been to Africa. Now, let's go down. My opponent, first of all, that was so weak. He spent 10 minutes on one thing that the Israelite did. They have done one thing in 100 years. And that 100 years, they fed some of us. Let's give them a hand, man. They finally did something. Other than running off at the mouth, attacking our people on the corners and dogging them out, they finally did something good for the people that they hate. Black power? Now let's compare what they did and what they say versus the people that support my position. Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah, one of the greatest black men of all time. And he talked about and preached and organized for a United States of Africa. A what? Israelite don't want to say that. Let me hear it. A United States of Africa. He preached the unity of all African people. He pointed out the fact that everything that my opponent has said, every negative act he said that an African did to a black man in America, he pointed out that it's due to the white man's colonialism. It's due to the white man enslaving us. It's due to the Bible-toting white man's teaching that teaches black to hate black. It's due to the white man's teaching that teaches us that black people are the cursed seed of Ham. That's the same Israelite teaching. They teach that the African is a savage, that the black man is bad, and that somehow or another the Israelite or the Jew is morally superior. It's the same teaching as the white man. Ladies and gentlemen who are watching on this broadcast, are you going to trust the Honorable Osajifo Kwame Nkrumah, or are you going to trust my opponents? My opponent said they fed one people one time. This man here has inspired Africans to organize all over the planet by himself. Kwame Nkrumah alone has outdone the entire Israelite nation. Marcus Mosiah Garvey supports my position. Whoever opposes my position opposes the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Whoever opposes the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey is a fool. The Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey is one of the greatest black men of all time. Marcus Garvey teaches us Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. You ain't got a leader that can stand toe-to-toe with Marcus Garvey nowhere on the planet Earth. Marcus Garvey teaches us one God, one aim, one destiny. Marcus Garvey teaches us to love Africa. Marcus Garvey would denounce this teaching. Are you going to go with the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, or are you going to go with the Hebrew Israelite from the ISUPK? It ain't even a question. Case closed. Here's another one. Where's the Hebrew Israelite freedom fighter from the 1960s? Where's the Hebrew Israelite fighting for freedom and justice in the 50s? Where are they in the 60s? Where are they in the 70s? Where are they in the 80s? Where are they in the 90s? Where's counterintelligence program attacking them? Where's the U.S. government attacking them? None of that exists. None of that exists. It's Africa that the white man is against being united. It's Africa and the unity of Africa that is all in the records. Let's go to this man right here. He's all in the counterintelligence program documents. He's all in the U.S. government document. The white man wants to stop him, respectfully, not you. The white man said he's most dangerous. He's the founder of the All African People's Revolutionary Party. He teaches us that the unity of all Africans is much more important than any religion. I'm talking about Kwame Ture. Ladies and gentlemen who are watching, I don't know about this church over here.
Do it to him.
Are you going to trust Kwame Ture or Stokely Carmichael, or are you going to trust the ISUPK? Anybody who trusts the ISUPK over Kwame Ture, over Stokely Carmichael, over one of the greatest freedom fighters of all time, I say you out of your goddamn mind. Patrice Lumumba from the Congo. Patrice, Africa's our home. Africa's our sign, not some damn patch in the desert. Africa's our home. And whatever Africa has done wrong, whatever Africa, hold tight. I know somebody got to step up in the temple here and straighten this out. Where is the Hebrew Israelite Patrice Lumumba, who fought for the freedom of Africans all over the planet? Where is one Israelite that could compare to Patrice Lumumba? It ain't one. Case closed. Malcolm X loved Africa. Malcolm X went to all parts of Africa, and he formed the Organization of All African Unity. The organization of what? All African Unity. Oh, he preached the unity and the liberation of Africa. He fought for our people, and to this very day he's loved. Where's the Hebrew Israelite Malcolm X? Where's the Hebrew Israelite that fought for our people in the 60s? Where's your history of fighting for your people? You ain't been fighting. You gave out some bread and that's it. You ain't losing. You ain't losing scared more people than all y'all ever will. Don't try to give me one thing you did. You ain't got a leader that could compare to Huey Newton. I'm gonna tear it up. They better get me off this mic. 5 minutes. Oh, I got 5 minutes. You ain't got a leader. They ain't got a leader that has armed black people, fought for black people, organized and stood up for black people. And that's the history of the Black Panther Party. They ain't got nobody to compare to this. Nobody. And damn it, I'm here to tell you, I don't care what religion you are. If you trust somebody that lived in the Bible, lived somewhere else 5,000, 6,000 years ago, that didn't even see you, didn't even know your nappy-headed behind, and you loved them more than prophet that was revealed to you, right here in Sawyer behind on 42nd Street, on Broadway, up here in Harlem, if you value them more than you value Malcolm X, you're nothing but the white man's nigga. Are you gonna trust Malcolm X, or are you gonna trust the Israelites? My position is the position of Malcolm X. If you say Malcolm is right over the Israelite, raise your hand up in here, man. Anybody that go against Malcolm is anti-black, and we can't waste time with it.
Close the case, attorney. Close the case.
Hold this, please, brother. I gotta move fast. I may got 1 minute. We'll get back to it. Dr. Ben agrees with me. Dr. Ben has educated thousands and thousands. Are we going to agree with Dr. Ben? Or are we going to agree with the Church of Israel? The choice is easy. This ain't even a choice. Dr. John Henry Clark is a legend. Are we going to agree with Dr. John Henry Clark? Or are we going to agree with the ISUPK? It ain't even a question. Case closed. Runoka Rashid teaches us the black man and the original peoples all over the face of the planet Earth. He's educated thousands. He's opened the minds and the eyes of thousands. Are we going to trust the words of Runoka Rashid? Or are we going to trust the anti-African, anti-black ISUPK? The white man is not after the ISUP, is not after them in his counterintelligence program. The U.S. government has not tried to stop them the way he's tried to stop African unity. Everything he pointed out was the result of the white man splitting and dividing up Africa. Even in the so-called slavery, everything in slavery was based on the lies, tricks, and deceit of the goddamn white man. Africa is our side. Africa is our homeland. Africa for the Africans at home and abroad, no matter what they have done, good or bad, that's all that loves us, and them is our folks. You ain't going to Israel. You ain't going to Japan. You ain't going nowhere else but Africa, so you better wake up. And the white man of America, he don't love you either. Black power.
That's it?
That's it? That's 15? Minute and a half left. Minute and a half left. There's not much left to rebut from what he said. He didn't say much. He said a few Africans didn't support us. So what? It's Israelites that don't support Israelites. Africans said when the, stay there, get that quick. When the missionaries came to Africa, they had the Bible and we had the land. They said, let us pray. When we closed our eyes and opened them, we had the Bible and they had the land. The Bible is the Bible has been used by the white man, and we can't trust where it comes from. Take that back. Over here, this Bible told and Bible told. Well, it's the same teaching that Pope Nicholas V teaches. Pope Nicholas V authorized the Portuguese king based on Bible teachings to capture and vanquish all enemies of Christ. All enemies of Christ teaches the white popes must be vanquished. That's the same teaching as the Israelite teaching. He says this was the first of their orders. The popes have used the Bible to oppress us. That's why I say we can't trust it above Africa. The colonialists, the Belgian, the English, the French, all of the enemies of black people have used the Bible to oppress and suppress our people and to tell them that they are the cursed seed of Ham. Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. One God, one aim, one destiny. My teaching is for unity, not for division. Black power.
Stick the fucking captain. He's done.
Let's hear it from Malik Zulu Shabazz. Come on. Give him a black hand, ladies and gentlemen. All the way from Washington, D.C., the attorney, the lawyer, Malik Zulu Shabazz. Now coming on, let me bring him on. I'll bring on the captain. I got it. Now coming up, the man from ISUPK. Come on. You gonna bring it home? Or you gonna fall under pressure? Because coming after this attorney here, you gotta win the case, brother. You got a closing argument. Come on, Captain, give them this word. Go ahead.
Hey, I'll sum Malcolm X in one line. These niggas killed him.
God.
Like, the reason he was. That's on the brother. Call me Chef Trez. Call me Chef Trez. Call me Chef Trez. Wait, you gotta hook up the laptop. You gotta hook up the laptop. Hold on, hook up the laptop. That's just one. I gotta give 3 to beat Chef Trez, right? That's just one. I don't say nothing. He gotta disconnect. You gotta connect me up. Y'all still got his on.
Need the wire over there?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Make sure my power's in over there.
Wait, hold up. Make sure it's lined up right. No, turn it. You looking south?
You gotta configure the
Yeah,
setting.
you got it. You get it right? I know y'all want to sabotage me. So
The fix is in.
yeah, okay, you can leave that right there. That's why I said, like, the one thing with Malcolm X, you can start the time now, Malik. They killed Malcolm.
Who's that?
Africans don't like Malcolm. They denied Malcolm. I just brought the article. That's New York Times. Just look it up. So he's talking about Malik. Don't tell me to love Malcolm. Tell the Africans to love Malcolm.
Right.
Tell the Africans to love. Them Black Panther, you know why they got a new Black Panther party? Because the other one died. Right. I should be case still standing, Commander Jenny Hunter right there. Right there. You want to talk about brotherhood, an excellent son to his father. He denies everything Khalid taught. We just played. Khalid said from Genesis to Revelations, the Bible is the roadmap to our salvation. He said, don't trust it. He's a terrible son. Right. Commander Jenny Hanna, taught by the 7 heads, has never betrayed them. Right. And kept everything that they gave him and gave it to us, and that's why we're here. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So real quick, he keeps talking about King James, right? There's nobody that said King James was gay while he was alive. Not one. Not his enemies or his friends. Nobody said it. It was only said like 40 to 50 years afterwards. So when we read his own words, his own writings, this is James 1, Basilicon Doron. This is what it says, Basil 46, the political works of King James. It says, but especially eschew to be effeminate in your clothes, in perfuming, preening, or such like. And fail never in times of war to be a galliard and bravest both in clothes and countenance. He never said to be no homosexual. He taught his son not to be a homosexual. What are we talking about? Now, if King James is gay, skip 2 slides. I want to get the black power. Skip. Yeah. If King James is gay, then Malcolm X was gay.
Come on.
They never said Malcolm X was gay either while he was alive. Never. But 40 years or so after he died, a writer wrote a book that said Malcolm X was gay. Now, those of us that know Malcolm, I'm not saying me because I didn't, but those of you that know Malcolm, gotta know he wasn't gay. But when you want to villain somebody, you put a spin on them. So Malcolm X is, if King James is gay, Malcolm X is gay. They share the same story. They were not called gay at all while they were alive. You got the next slide? Let's talk about it. Oh, he brought up Marcus Garvey. Now, they call him Marcus Garvey. Did they call him Marcus Mosiah Garvey? Why didn't they call him Marcus Akunku Garvey? Why didn't they call him that? Or Marcus Batongo? I don't know how to say the African name. They call him Marcus Mosiah Garvey in reference to Moses. It was about the Bible. They trusted the Bible enough. He wanted to trust him enough. You can't be a real one if you copy it. I have to see if it was a new name of Moses. He should be quiet when I'm talking. That's the second time he's done it. So now, Marcus Garvey, that red, black, and green they love? This is on the UNIAACL.com site. Anybody can go to that site. Y'all think that red, black, and green is about the earth, the blood, and the land. But originally, look at the underline. That it says, alternatively, it has been explained by journalist Charles Mowbray that Garvey proposed the colors for the following reasons, because Garvey was influenced by the Irish. He saw the Irish in their plight, and he was influenced by that. So the original red, black, and green, reds for the red man, which was the Native Indians, and green for the sympathy of the Irish. That's what red, black, and green for. Put that white shit up if you want to. I'm not putting that up. I don't never put up nothing white, nothing African. I won't do none of that. It's right on their website. Salaki. Give me the next slide. Black power. Y'all love saying black power, right? Black power. That's powerful to y'all. Say it for me one time. Can y'all say it one more time? No, even Israel. Y'all can say it. No, Israel, say it one time for me. Black power. One time. Listen, they spirit won't say black power. Now, this is a book written in 1969 by James Cohen. It's called Black Theology and Black Power. Now, we know Black Power, it says the term Black Power, this is all in this book here, written in 1969, right? It says the term Black Power was first used in civil rights movement in the spring of 1906 by Stokely Carmichael, which I believe he said, which is where all y'all get it from. It says, it designates only the appropriate response to white racism. Since that time, many critics have observed that there's no common agreement regarding its definition. In one sense, the fact is not surprising since every phenomenon passes through stages of development. It says the same is true with the words black power. To what object does it point? What does it mean when used by advocates? What it means is complete emancipation of black people from white oppression. That's what it means. That's what they say it means. By whatever means black people deem necessary. The methods may include selective buying, boycotting, marching, or even rebellion. Black power means black freedom, black self-determination, wherein the black people no longer view themselves as without human dignity, but as men, human beings with the ability to carve out their own destiny. Y'all agree with that, right? That sounds strong. That could be street speaking, right? Give me the next slide. This is page 35. On the American scene today as yesterday, one problem stands out, the enslavement of black Americans. But as we examine what contemporary theologians are saying, we find that they are silent about the enslaved condition of black people. To this day, it's the same exact way you can't talk about slavery. Evidently, they see no relationship between black slavery and the Christian gospel. Consequently, there has been no sharp confrontation of the gospel with white racism. There is then a desperate need for a black theology, a theology whose sole purpose is to apply freeing power of the gospel of black people under white oppression, which is what they say black power is about, to free you from white oppression. Unfortunately, Christianity came to the black man through white oppressors, like his leader said. His leader said the exact same thing, that the white man gave us this book, but it is the book to our salvation if read properly, right? It says, who demanded that they reject his concern for this world as well as his blackness and affirm the next world in whiteness. The black intellectual community, however, with emphasis on black identity, became increasingly suspicious of Christianity because the oppressor had used it as a means of sifting us out. So naturally, as slave questions his existence as a slave, he also questions the religion of his ancestor. How many familiar with the slave Bible? You can go to the next slide, Kyle. How many familiar with the slave Bible? You know, the slave Bible is the Bible that they gave us. They never actually gave us the Bible. And what they would do with the slave Bible is extract certain passages that might make us rebel. If we actually read that if you steal a man, you get killed. That's what his leader read, Exodus 21, right? So now, page 38. Therefore, it is appropriate to ask, is it possible for men to be really black and still feel an identity with the biblical tradition expressed in the Old and New Testaments? As he just said, he felt Marcus Mosiah Garvey was the real Moses, but that inspiration came from the Old Testament. It didn't come from Kemet or any other spiritual system. It came from the Bible. If you think about it, 95% of the revolutions in America are inspired by people that believe in the Bible. And the failure of it has nothing to do with the Bible. It's betrayal amongst their own. Even Farrakhan and Khaled couldn't get along. My man up there, I ain't gonna say it like that, General. Commander General Hunter does not care who gets glory in here. Right. Does not. He sent us out to go and conquer. Right. So if I was Khaled and I delivered that King's speech, him playing the role of Farrakhan would never say, hey, sit down. And I would never have to go and start the Black Panther Party. He would have said, that's an excellent speech. The way you tore this so-called Jewish people up, that's an excellent speech. Don't do what? Don't go to King College, go to Syracuse, go to Georgetown, go to North Carolina, and tell them all. That's what Commander Jenny Hunter would have said. But when you hate your brother, he'll be like, no, we can't have him around. He's too popular. He's gonna take my position. The truth is not about you. It's about God. It's about Christ. That's our king. That's what it's about. So now, and again, all that's inspired from the Bible. I don't know Commander General without the Bible. I know nothing of him without the Bible. So now, it says, finally, is black power, I'm sorry, the real message came from will become a live option for radical advocates of black consciousness. Is there any relationship at all between the work of God and the activity of the ghetto? Must black people be forced to deny their identity or to embrace the Christian faith? Finally, is black power as described in chapter 1 compatible with Christian faith, or are we dealing with two utterly different perspectives? This is Luke 4:18. It says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. We are the poorest people in this condition. And that's why everybody goes to that Bible, because that Bible is about liberating the poor from their oppressor, not joining them. Wait, give me the next slide so I don't jump the gun. Next page. If the gospel of Christ frees a man for those who labor are heavily laden, the humiliated and abused, then it would seem that for 20th century America, the message of black power is Christ himself. That's in this book right here, Black Theology and Black Power. So when y'all saying black power, you talking about Christ. Right. Because what was Christ about? Christ was about freeing his people. Christ ain't never said he came for all people. That's a lie that the white man told you. He said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. There ain't nobody more lost than us. That's why I couldn't feed that little African boy. He got a mom and dad. They could feed him. My brothers don't have mom and daddies. They can't get fed. So now, we'll keep reading. It says, if the gospel is the gospel of liberation for the oppressed, then Jesus is where the oppressed are and continues his work of liberation there. Jesus is not safely confined in the first century. He is our contemporary. His father said the kingdom of heaven is in you. Who you get that from? Christ. So if you want the kingdom of heaven, I know they like to joke because we say the sky gonna crack with Christ's return, and that's true. But he also said, occupy till I come. How do you occupy? You take your city back. How can we think we could go to Africa to be in a position of power? We ain't even in charge of Harlem. Right. You ever been outside in Harlem now? It used to be black. It used to be great. Now it's Staples and PC Richards and all that stuff out there, and we got a vend on the side. And I hope y'all went to all these vendors and bought something from all these vendors. Otherwise, you represent the problem. So now, it says, if he is not in the ghetto, if he is not where men are living, at the brink of existence, but is rather in the easy life of the suburbs, then the gospel is a lie. Because Christ never went to the rich. So when the Christian church telling you money is the solution and stuff, that's a lie. Christ only dealt with the poor. It says the opposite, however, is the case. Christ, the Bible is not alien to black power. It is black power. So when you say black power, that's exactly what you're saying. Next slide. How much time I got, Malak?
3:23.
Ooh, we're killing the game. I told you, Tazar made fun of me because I had like 80,000 slides in the PowerPoint. I said we're going to get through them. So now, elements of culture, Bible versus Africa. So now, people feel responsible for their family if we're under one body. If you go Pan-Africanist route, how can you be responsible for your family if one is Egyptian, one is Nigerian, one is Ethiopian, one is a Cushite, one is whatever they call? You can't be about your family because you're going to care about your culture. Next thing, to value the concept of face as a strong public image, you should care how you're represented. If you let someone else attack somebody else because they're not your people, then you don't care about the face of your people. When you see the Israelites on them corners, we're defending the face of black people. Right. How are we doing that? We're talking about the crimes that have been committed against us and asking for justice for those that don't call themselves Israelites. Right. The black people we trying to reach, they don't call themselves Israelites. But if they come and they learn, then they do. But that's who we risk our lives for. Africans don't risk their life for you. You risk your life for them. That's right. That's all you do. So now, it says, if a member's face is threatened, the whole group's honor is in danger because we are a true monolith. And Pan-African, everybody just responsible for themselves. Next slide, Tazar. This is called elements of culture. In elements of culture, you need I might not be able to finish this one. You need social organization, custom and traditions, language, arts, religion, government structure, and economics. That's what you need. Those are 7 elements that you need. Keep going. So in the elements of culture, customs and traditions. So you have to have something that, the problem with black people is not our money. It's not. Because we have money. If you go back to Black Wall Street, it took a year for $1 to come out of that community. Today, maybe 5 seconds, something like that, because our moral compass is off. How do you deal with people when it comes to money? How do you deal with their spirituality? How do you deal with them with brotherhood? It's what controls you. So elements of culture, we have to deal with idolatry. Exodus 21:21 says you can't serve other gods. Only one God. Even that's confusing. All them different gods or that he mentioned are all worshipped differently. How can you come together? You got different feast days and celebrations and you come together in conflicts, especially if you're God. And then here's the bigger part. The Egyptians and Nubians didn't get along like that at all. They went to war. They would wear the sandals to draw the names of the people they done killed. They do that to this day. They're at civil war. So you're going to bring us to another war? Do the next slide. Elements of culture is also important. Why do I have these images up here? Up here is in a book called The Russian Icons. And as you can see, they're taking the black images and they're painting them white. Why is that important? If I told all y'all to close your eyes and picture the black Jesus that he said was black, I played the video. He said Christ was black. I guarantee you see the white boy. Because the image embeds in your brain. So it took me like 2 years to get the white boy out of my brain, but even when I'm in the truth and I know Christ is black, that's what time.
I think we're going to rebuttal. Y'all agree on the rebuttal time? No, it wasn't a rebuttal. It was just 2 rounds and question and answer. It was just question and answer.
Question and answer. Well, we switching it up a little bit. Well, I mean, what you want a question from them?
No, I think it was either you and I asked each other questions.
I didn't do the rebuttal yet?
We did 2. It was supposed to be 2 rounds. We did them.
Oh, okay. Stick to it. Okay, so what's next?
We're supposed to either ask each other questions or take questions from the crowd.
Yes, y'all 2 ask questions.
Okay, he's gonna ask me a question.
Well, you just spoke, so you asked me.
You want me to ask you a question?
Yeah. I'm hearing your doctrine, so ask me a question based on your doctrine, and I'm asking you a question based on mine.
Okay, is there a time limit on this? Or did we do it? I think it was 3 questions each, right?
3 questions each, and then
Right, they take from the audience.
All right.
No, we nixed that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we nixed that. So it's 3 questions between us and then from the audience. Okay.
So my first question, I guess, is,
ladies and gentlemen, this is what's going to happen now. Tazaryach is going to question attorney Malik Shabazz 3 questions, and then vice versa. And then after that, the audience gets to ask them questions. All right?
Before, like I asked one and he asked one like that.
That'd be better.
All right. Okay, as long as y'all agree.
so I guess my first question, Malik, you being a Muslim, how does trust in Africa fit in that when Muslims spread Islam through Africa with the sword as well? Are you giving up Islam? That's my question.
All right, that's a good question, because I want to clear that up. It has been alleged that I'm here representing the Nation of Islam, and that the Nation of Islam had murdered Malcolm X. Okay, which is not true, but I'm not representing the Nation of Islam, and I don't represent the black Muslims here. As a matter of fact, to the contrary, I represent a man that was in the Nation of Islam, as he pointed out. A man that stood up and told the truths before the world, and he was actually persecuted by the Nation of Islam. I don't represent Arab Muslims. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna shock you right now. The Honorable Khalid Muhammad, who I have his book, the Book of Khalid, and I didn't even put this in this edition, but it'll be in the next one. At the end of his life, he told me, brother, I don't even want you to call me a Muslim.
That's right. Damn right.
He said, I've evolved. He said, like I am today, we believe in God and we believe in the unity of all of our people.
That's what he said.
That's what he told me. So I don't represent Islam. I condemn the European slave trade, the European Bible-toting anti-black slave trade, and I condemn that Arab anti-black slave trade. I condemn them all. Now, Mouthpiece consistently, I got to rebut this, you got to keep score. He has consistently said that I betrayed Khalid Muhammad, and I only dealt with and he only dealt with the Bible. Just quickly, now sit down. I just gotta say this to you real quick.
Question, not rebuttal me. You answered.
Okay, fine. I answered your question. Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, fine. That's fine.
That's the rule.
Okay, no problem. Do you have any proof that the Exodus story written in the Bible exists at all?
My PowerPoint, pull up.
Now, there's a time limit on the answer. This can't be no 50-minute answer. You got to come right quick to it.
It's already ready. So, this is, anybody can go onto the website, I think it's like Bible CE or whatever. It says Moses and the Exodus inscription. There's a book called Sinai Photograph. It costs about $600 to buy, which I have. There's also another book called Hebrew, the Oldest Alphabet, written by, what's the guy's name? Petrovich. I appreciate that, Garfield. So now, starting in 1906, 16 ancient Hebrew inscriptions for Egypt were discovered by Hilda and William Matthews Flinders Petrie at 4 sites. It says, the Petries knew it was a script, but were unable to decode it. So they lay collecting dust for 100 years until they were translated for the first time in 2015 by Doug Petrovich. Predictability is what all you blackity blacks are. So now, one, it says, Dr. Doug Petrovich documented in his recent book, Hebrews, the world's oldest alphabet in 2015, that all modern alphabets are derived from the Hebrew alphabet, including English. Petrovich was able to translate for the first time 16 ancient inscriptions that sat collecting dust in museums, storehouses for over 100 years. Sinai 361 is one example of the oldest Hebrew inscriptions ever discovered, dated to 1446 BC according to their timeline. Translation Sinai 361, our bound servitude had lingered. Moses then provoked astonishment. So when you ask did Moses exist, you can go to Sinai 361. You also have Sinai 3... I don't think I have it on here. So you got Sinai 361, which clearly mentions Moses. It goes on further, says this described the oppression of Israel under the 18th dynasty pharaohs, and then the plagues of Egypt, which caused the astonishment 1446 BC. I think I answered your question. So,
stay with me. You don't get the. Now, hold on.
You said back and forth. I know it's confusing.
Yeah, it's confusing. Yeah, take a look at it. It's confusing. Because this ain't nothing to me. This ain't nothing. But let me ask you this from your Bible first.
It's not your turn.
I'm going to ask you. Just stick with it.
It's my turn.
It's your turn. Okay, so
back and forth.
No follow-up. Okay, fine. No follow-up.
You got a hard time sticking to the rule. Listen, you come to UPK, we teach y'all how to follow all the rules.
Right. I asked you a question.
That's another chapter.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
I get that. It's my turn to ask you a question.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll save that. I got to save all this stuff.
The 3 items that I brought out about Malcolm being denied by Africa, Haitians being denied 4 things. Haitians being denied by Africa, the Ethiopians saying what they say about Africa. With Africa denying us, how can you justify us trusting them when we keep trying to trust them and they fail us at every turn?
My brother, you act like you forgot that the white man has robbed us as well as Africa also. How can you forget this? How can you forget that your brothers who you are dogging out here, your black brothers all over the planet, the only ones you got who you are intent on attacking, they have been robbed by the white man just like you. That's the answer. Everything that you said that an African did wrong to another African, it comes from the goddamn white man.
Okay, so it's your turn now to ask me a question.
Now, I'm going to read you a passage from my book on Khalid Muhammad, and I want to ask you, do you stand by your statement that Khalid Muhammad is a Bible-only man? Okay, so let me read this to you.
Wake him up.
Let me read this to you, because he's done this 4 times. I'm keeping track of the points here. All right, 1 second.
Here comes the dagger.
I hope one comes finally.
Finally. I ain't heard no rebuttal to all the points I've raised. I ain't get into it
one time.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to remind you how many times you've been hit in this fight. You just got being cheered by your crowd here. You've been hit 56. Ain't no answers to nothing I've gotten up here. I haven't gotten any answers. Only thing I've gotten up here is that an African opposed to African. Hell, there's Israelites opposing Israelites all over America. Everywhere. They fighting like cats and dogs, just like Muslims and the rest of black people, just like tonight. I'm here to... Okay, I'm going to answer. Let me get right to it.
He want to preach, man. I just want to question, man. I don't listen. And y'all know, if y'all know me, I can talk. I can talk, but I also know how to follow rules. I can add just like that.
All right, come on.
Get it together. All that talking, he should have been spending more time getting the excerpt. Look, now he needs time to get the excerpt. I'm trying to help him out.
1 second.
Somebody get the Jeopardy music or something, man. Get this brother together. You can't let me moonwalk on you like this, man. Come on, brother. Get it together.
Not a good look for you, Captain.
Order.
You heard to say Malik, right?
And that's his book.
Yeah, that's what he wrote. That's another thing he wrote.
It's okay. Just bear with me for a minute. All right. Now he said, listen up. Now I want you to understand, if you can't trust him on one point, on Khalid Muhammad, you can't trust him on the rest. Okay, anybody who knows Khalid Abdul Muhammad knows he was not a Bible-only man. Here in page 53 in the book of Khalid, right here, it says, it was the African-centered minister Khalid, excuse me, Black Power.
Hey, if y'all could, to the brothers right there, I need y'all to keep it down. Reggie, come on now.
Come on, y'all.
We having a debate up here, man.
These are important.
Have some decorum. I see my soldiers, they ain't saying nothing.
He's right about
teach all y'all.
He's right about
that. Brother that we got an Israelite school, UPK in the command very high. Y'all all need that. All right, you should be ashamed of yourself for talking while Malik's talking.
All right. On Khalid Muhammad, I'm going to read you this, and then I want you to answer. Okay? And in the process of you answer how is your teaching not the most divisive teaching in the black community? In page 53, it was the African-centered minister Khalid who would mount the rostrum with African robes and African attire. This was unheard of from the strict suit and bow tie wearing Muslims. From the rostrum, Khalid would illuminate the teachings of Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan from an African worldview. What kind of worldview?
African worldview.
What kind of worldview?
African worldview.
I know I'm in the Israelite temple. I'm coming in on them like Yahshua. I'm outnumbered and don't care. It says, I quoted the Bible more than him tonight. I have quoted the Bible more than him tonight.
You should know.
And I'm going to get to the point where the Jews say in the Bible that we have never been in slavery, but I'll get back to that.
Yes.
It says it was the African-centered minister Khalid who would mount the rostrum with African robes and African attire. This was unheard of from the strict suit and bow tie wearing Muslims. From the rostrum, Khalid would illuminate the teachings of Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan from an African worldview, referencing Kemet and Egypt, and frequently to prove that, quote, the black man and woman are absolutely the mothers and fathers of civilization, mathematics, engineering, science, law, religion, and spirituality. This is Khalid. Yes, it was stated in the Supreme Wisdom Lessons that the black man was the father of civilization, but it was Minister Khalid Muhammad who could lay out the academic proof to support the Nation of Islam claims. Not of just Allah, Khalid in the 1980s spoke of the African gods, Babaluwaye, Ilegba, Oludumare, Obatula, Unkulunkulu, Shango, that pulls all of the names, all all of the names of the one God together. Khalid would teach and enlighten his audiences, and they were glued to every word of his brilliant lectures. The Yoruba faith and tradition, the Kemetic sciences, indigenous African spirituality, information from the Zulu to the Dogon were all a part of the knowledge that Khalid was dropping, and would eventually qualify him as a master teacher in the course of his illustrious career. Khalid Muhammad's presentation, I'm gonna ask, Khalid Muhammad's presentation of African culture, language, and spiritual systems made him unlike any other minister ever in the Nation of Islam. Do you now retract your misinformation on Khalid Muhammad?
The first thing I want to say, every time he want to say something like power in the book, he say we're not supposed to trust, he done quoted Joshua like 5 times. So I'm coming at him like Joshua. That's in the Bible, not in nothing that he said. And everything that he just read is what he wrote.
Right.
Khalid Muhammad didn't say that. Every video we have of Khalid Muhammad that I've seen and I've watched them, he's never quoted those guys he's talking about. The only thing I will agree, I don't need you to talk. I'm joking, Garfield. The only thing I will agree is that Khalid was an African-centered person. You know that because he went over to Uganda to fight with Idi Amin, I think it was, right? He went over there to fight with Idi Amin. Here's the problem. When Khalid came over here, because Farrakhan called him, why did Idi Amin send them Africans over here to help them over here?
Right.
We always fight for them. Showing me that we fighting for them, showing me that we African-centered, that does not mean anything to me. But what he said, Khalid said, Genesis to Revelations is the roadmap to our liberation. That's what I do know he said. He just didn't have the full truth. When he came to the school and we taught him, that's why he switched it up to say we are the Hebrew Israelites. I don't really use that term, but that's the word, the way he used it. Hebrew is the language we speak. Israelites is what we are. So when you ask that question, those are your words, brother. You would have to show me where Khalid said a coup. I won't even say the whole thing. The God in me won't let me say. The God in me won't let me say the whole thing. But that's what you would have to show. So that's my question. Answer. Do I have a final question? I don't think I have a final question. I'm ready to take questions from the. I just said that. I'm ready to take questions from the audience. Unless he got another question, I'm good. I don't have another question. I'd rather take questions from the audience unless he has a question for me. But give it up for both of us for having a good debate. Give it up for Malik.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, just put your hands up. I'll come over to where you are. Any questions? Any questions? All right, here you go. What's your name, brother?
My name is Barrett from Philly. I just want to say, regardless of the philosophies and whatnot, I want to take pride in the brothers for keeping brothers off of drugs and cleaning brothers up and making brothers a little bit more better.
Got a question?
I have a question.
Oh, hold on, the brother right here.
I got a question.
Go ahead, son.
I asked this question before to you, Captain Tazaryach, a few years ago, but I want to get this question on record. And because being that we talking about should we trust African or Africa or not, I'm going to ask you, brother. I remember interviewing you a few years ago, and you yourself made the claim that the white man is more closer to you than the African. Do you still stand on that, goddamn?
When it comes to the Bible, right, which is our blueprint, which is the guide to our liberation, when Noah came out of the flood, he had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Ham became the progenitor of the dark-skinned races, which you can find in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Shem became the, not even to say dark-skinned like that, because Shem became the progenitor also of a set of races. The races that come out of Shem are us as Israelites, Chinese, Japanese, Arabs, including the so-called white men. So when I say that, I'm not saying that we're close to them, because Genesis 25 and 23 says 2 different nations are coming out the womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated. So we're not nothing like the so-called white man, but we come from a Shemitic bloodline, whereas Africans come from a Hamitic line. Is that simple?
We got a question right here.
My question, I got just 2 quick little questions.
It's supposed to be for me now.
It's basically for both of y'all, really don't matter. With all due respect. My question really is, because I come to a lot of these debates, did any one of you brothers say anything tonight that maybe you can go home and think about and see if they may have changed their ideology or on something small? Because we sit here all the time when we beat up and nobody walks away with, everybody walk away with the same thing they came to the room with. And then my other question is, how far removed do you have to be before you become a new people? How far removed? How many generations, how many things have to happen to the Israelites or to the Muslims that you are now another people? Y'all can understand that statement.
My brothers, that's the question. Did anybody say anything that would make us think differently? I want to say no, because none of my positions have been effectively rebutted as of yet. His information about a so-called book of Sinai 361 compared to the overwhelming lack of evidence that there was never an exodus out of Egypt and that Egyptians are not slave masters, and there was never 600,000 people coming, or to 2 million total would be, leaving Egypt. Ain't one piece of pottery, ain't one papyrus, ain't one note to support it. I've heard nothing and seen nothing here today to sway me from my position. I win that point. Now, also, he has a list of things that he has just failed to, he keeps talking about, Khaled said the Bible was a roadmap. He keeps saying Khaled never said that. Where do you think I got this from? You think I'm this intuitive to go into all of these languages? Khaled said regardless to land, label, or language, there's one God. But since he repeated the misinformation, let's hear Khalid Muhammad himself. Because I ain't even learned nothing.
Put it to it.
Okay.
Put the speaker.
From the holy city of Mecca. That's right. He found one here in the hills of North America, one that he found to be worthy of him putting his spirit into that one, divine power to be his messenger and his Christ and his Messiah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's right. Now the 2 of them have found one that they can back. The 2 of them have found one that both of my sisters and brothers, and anoint him and appoint him and make him their divine.
As soon as he gets to that part, I'll come right to it. Let me get into something else real quick. I'm answering the question. I got it. It's coming. I just don't want to wait a long time.
That's right. You got it.
Okay, if you think I can't prove that Khalid Muhammad taught Babalu Aye or all these things I'm teaching, you will be soundly destroyed here. So you just keep waiting and your destruction will come soon. Let me go back to here. The reason why I haven't learned anything is because nothing has been rebutted. When I showed that African and Kemetic and Egyptian civilization produced all of the scientists, writers, engineers, and architects that have taught the whole world and our greatest source of value, and I said that the kingdom of Israel had nothing but a pile of rocks in the Sinai desert, nothing was said to even come close to refuting it. No rebuttal was offered. All was offered was anti-African talk saying Africans is against us. Well, that's what the white man wants us to teach. The white man wants us to teach that Africans are not our brothers. All right? Nothing was rebutted, brother. The reason why I haven't learned anything, nothing was rebutted on all of the points where I showed that, yeah, the Bible's an African book. It comes from Africa. You are reading an African book and talking bad about Africa every second. It makes no sense. I didn't learn anything from that. I didn't learn Jesus Christ. I didn't learn nothing from that. Khalid Muhammad teaches that spookism is all right. I haven't. There's nothing here that has challenged me to change what I'm teaching, and I'm gonna get back to you on the African God as soon as I sit down.
All right. Question for Brother Reggie. Oh, you want to respond to that?
He asked both of us.
Okay, go ahead. Pose it.
He didn't really, the subject of the debate was, do we trust Africa or not? Do we trust the Bible or not? So he didn't present anything for me to actually trust Africa. I'm familiar with all the gods that he presented. I'm familiar with all of them. What I did was show how when we went to trust Africa, they betrayed us. So in 1847, we went to Liberia. They betrayed us. They fought against us. Malcolm went to Africa to 31 leaders. They all told him, we got enough problems, we can't deal with your Negro problem. The Ethiopian prime minister said we got to be like the so-called Jew, and then took our pain of George Floyd dying and used it against us. So all I've seen from Africa is to not trust them. So he didn't show anything for me to actually trust him. He just showed me their gods, to answer your question.
Right, next question.
Can we get like a time limit on the answers? Like he be going on Martin Luther King speeches.
All right, next question. Go ahead, brother.
Peace to the family. My name is Brother Reggie. This question is to Captain Tazaryach and to all of ISUPK. Africa is here. And salute to the Commanding General Yohana, my brother, and peace to you. I do love the work that y'all are doing. This is just an intellectual question. Can we trust Africa?
Yes, sir.
Well, your God sent your people into Africa. Wait,
Reggie, no.
Wait, your God. No speeches. Wait, no speeches. Here's the question. The question is, your God sent your people into Africa. Right? You spent 1,000 years in Africa. Can you name the places that you sojourned for the 1,000 years before you came here? That's all.
Chop that boss.
Yeah, that's not that hard. We primarily was on the west coast of Africa, so we would be among the Igbos, amongst the Ashantis, amongst the children of Ghana. That's why when they wanted to sell slaves, they knew exactly who they were selling. What I brought up about Liberia is a prime example of that, because when 12,000 black people went into Africa, they knew who they were and they went to war with them. So in 70 AD, when Israel fell as a nation, we went right into the west coast of Africa. So I named them already. Ghana, Igbo, the Ashanti tribe, well, Ashanti is Ghana, and other countries. I don't know all the names of the countries, but that's where we are. It's primarily West Africa, just to answer your question.
All right, next question.
I wanted to ask the brother, I know that in the ISUPK we taught that we are the ancient Israelites. We are those people, which is how we can relate to the culture. I heard a lot about Egypt, and I wanted to ask the brother, black people and actual African Americans, are we the ancient Egyptians? And if not, how can we be proud of the things that they built?
Good question, brother.
You say, are we the ancient Kemetics, and how are we to be proud?
Are we the ancient Egyptians? And do you have proof?
My brother, the white man has fought for years and years to tell you that Kemetics are not black. Study Herodotus. Kemet means black. Kemet means the land of the blacks, brother. You have not been taught this. Moses was an Egyptian, the Bible teaches. That he was an Egyptian. This is a black man from the early dynasties of Kemet. You must understand that Kemet has a long history, almost 31 dynasties. The old kingdom, the middle kingdom, and the new kingdom. The original ones, Menes, Narmer, the pyramid builders, Khafre, Khufu, all of them were black. And on down the line, sometimes Hyksos, white folks, or Greeks had interfered with the throne. All I'm saying, brother, the proof is overwhelming. Study Dr. Ben, study Dr. Clark. Look at right here in your black face. What do you mean a different black? The only different black you are from a black man in Africa is somehow the white man interfered with your seed. You are a Nigerian. You come from the west coast of Africa. You are Hausa. You are Fulani. You are Wolof, who happened to come into contact with this religion in America. You didn't have it in Africa. You didn't bring it on the slave ship. You met your general, Johanna, who's trying to wake you up with the Bible. You didn't come here with the Bible. We got the Bible from the white man in America. The African got the Bible from the white man. We didn't get it from the Coptic Christian. We didn't get it from the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now make no opinion to all Israelites. I'm not teaching against all Hebrew Israelites. My brother Nasir, the Lion of Judah, Armed Forces of the Lion of Judah, he's listening in. And other Israelites are listening in. I'm not against all Israelites. I'm only teaching against Israelites that teach against our own people and cause division and destruction in the black community.
All right, next question.
Yo, peace and blessings. Light and love to the crowd. Light and love to Brother Sonetta. Everybody, peace and blessings. So my question is for both of the debaters. Understanding that we are all in the struggle for a liberation theology and philosophy that will free our minds of the condition that we are currently in, what benefit, what impact, what service does it do the neo-colonial and colonial powers to keep the black man and the black woman divided on all levels, especially when you hear their puppets express divisive comments? An analysis from both would be appreciated.
Wake them up, Sam Kofi. Let's go.
Brother, you go first. I appreciate your fairness. That's the beautiful thing about the Bible. I would like for us, the answers come from the belief system that we follow. So Mark 3:27 says, no man enter into a strong man's house unless he first bind up the strong man. The destruction of the black household is because they removed the black man out of the house. So what we do is bring him back into the house. If you fix him, you fix the entire nation. You fix that brotherhood, you fix the entire nation. And sometimes it takes back and forth like this. It takes because now we get in the room. I remember Malik, when we was on the phone, he said something like this gets us in the room. So we can now see, can we trust one? Can we not trust the other one? I would hope the information that I presented would show you that we have tried religiously to trust this nation, only to realize that they're a failure of that nation.
All right, so as you can see, his answer does nothing to help our people get out of this condition. His answer only leaves you more polarized, more divided. My teaching unites all of our people, and I stand behind the Honorable Marcus Garvey that the best teaching we could hear tonight is one God, one aim, one destiny, and Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. This Bible, please keep the noise down. Y'all can go in the hallway for that. This is serious here. There are people watching all over the country. And these answers are serious here. These are my brothers, man. I'm trying to pull them in. Now my teaching, if I'm teaching the Bible, I'm saying the Bible as taught by ISUPK would be the problem. My teacher teaches me that the book of Ezekiel in the 37th chapter talks about the dry bones in the valley. And that the dry bones is sitting up in here tonight. A dry bone called the ISUPK. That's right. A dry bone called the Black Panther. A dry bone called a brother here from Harlem, another one from Queens. A dry bone, one coming to say he's the Wolof, another one say he's the Dogon, one say he's an Israelite, one say he's a Muslim. The scripture speaks to our division.
But it also says that the Son of Man would blow, the winds would blow on the dry bones and pull these bones together. This is talking about African redemption. You got to have a Bible teaching the Bible, but you got to preach it in a way to bring us together and not destroy us. Bible say, Exodus in the 21st chapter, in the 16th verse, say, he who stealeth the man and he who selleth the man, and if he be caught with that man in his hands, he shall surely be put to death. Who is that man in his hands? That's all. I'm quoting the Bible, but I'm quoting it right. I'm not quoting it like the white man to put down the African, to put down the brothers and sisters. I'm quoting it in the spirit of Harambe to pull us together. The Bible is a poison book only if one is divinely inspired to give it to us with the right spirit. If you got a spirit of hatred for our people, this book will do nothing but produce more hatred. But if you got love for our people, this book can bring us together. It can bring us together. So when I use the Bible. That is my only source. I say that we are the only fulfillment of Genesis 15:13. We are the only people in America that have ever been a land of our own for 400 years. It didn't happen back in what you say Egypt. It didn't happen the way it say it happened in the Bible. It's prophetic, black man. It's talking about you. And it says that all of us will be a part of the same house. And God would come to judge America.
Hey, Captain, get your mic. I got a quick question for you. Quick question. When during the transatlantic slave trade, right? And in all fairness, the video with the young boy, you said you wouldn't feed him because his people sold us, which are Hamites. Am I correct?
Moderators don't ask questions.
No. Somebody gave me I can't ask a question for somebody? All right.
How are you going to moderate that?
No, somebody told me that question.
He's scared of that question, brother.
Shalom, Israel. I want to ask you right now, Malik, Attorney Malik, and the rest of you Pan-Africanists, you force yourself to make yourself African. Let me ask you right now, did your mother and your father and their mother and their fathers ever tell you that you were some stinking African? Did they ever tell you that? You force yourself to believe some stinking African. You ain't no African, you know that. I love it. They don't smell like us, they don't look like us, anything, you know that. Let them talk,
I love it. This is the problem. That man is my best witness. He's my best witness that this teaching that they're teaching is anti-black, and it's the same teaching as the white man. There he is. He's an anti-African, anti-black, white man, Bible-toting Israelite. You hate yourself and you hate your people, and I come to wake you up and to pull the demon out of you. I gotta get the demon of self-hatred up out of you, black man. You are an African, and you cannot deny it. I'll cast that demon out of you. Next question. Next question. Hold on, we got the legendary Malik. Did you hear what he said? Hold the noise, man. This is the white man's teaching that Africa is savage, pagan, stinking, and dirty. This is the white man's teaching. They're trying to make it seem nice. Brother knows what they're teaching behind closed doors. Woo!
All right, here we go. One more question.
Peace, family. Okay, I'm Melchizedek, Supreme Shabazz Allah. Okay, now, as far as I'm concerned, all of us in here is family. Okay? Now, my question to Tazaryach. Let's look. Everybody?
Captain Tazar.
Captain Tazaryach. Captain. Okay. Now, my question is this. It's a question. Nothing, no racial, no discrimination, anything. You, Captain Tazar, do you bear witness that the black man is God and the white man is the devil, by nature, made to be destroyed and not to be given another chance?
I'll answer it in reverse. The white man is definitely the devil.
That's right.
I don't like to use the term black man is God because it makes us feel like we've achieved something, and we haven't achieved anything. A lot of people quote Psalms 82:6 when it said, ye of gods. That word gods means power, judge, ruler, authority. We're not ruling or in authority or in power of nothing. Right. We're trying to attain that power. And so we're going to use that power. So now there can be a point where we will be the gods, like Moses was called a god, Psalms 82:6, but we're not there yet because of the devil that you mentioned, which is the so-called white man, who is fit to be destroyed, which is also biblical prophecy. This whole thing is about the Bible. Every time he quotes the Bible. There is nothing else but the Bible that fixes us. Right. It's not for both of us. Hey, can we put a time limit on the questions? Because there's a lot of people, maybe like a 1 minute response time or something, Danielle?
Garfield, can we do like a 1 minute response time to the answer? Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, peace. This is Lorna. I have a two-part question. My first question is, when we got off the slave ships, and there was Hamites and Shemites, which one were us?
We don't teach that it was Hamites that came off the slave ships because it wasn't a scavenge hunt. It wasn't like that. The transatlantic slave trade was perfectly executed. That's where they had, that's where you have insurance companies come from and stuff like that. So the Africans knew exactly who they were selling when they were selling them. There was no confusion or anything. An excellent book to get is The Black Image in the Minds of Whites. It was a 100-year study that they studied black people. And on page 74 and 75, it'll tell you that the study of our brain, and I forget the other word, but I know the study of our brain, they knew that we were the same people in servile position in ancient Egypt that we were today. The one last thing I like to just say real fast is Ezekiel 37 that the brother quoted, that's talking about Israelites. That's not talking about everybody. When he's talking about Christ, that's talking about Israelites. That's not talking about everybody. So we are the valley of dry bones, but that's all Israel. That does not include no Africans or Hamites at all.
So by looking at me or knowing me, or just seeing me and everything, would you be able to tell if I'm an Israelite or if I'm an African? Would you allow me to marry one of your brothers even though if I'm not a Hebrew? Would it be okay for me to come into your family if I'm not a Hebrew?
Hell no. Nobody.
I'm done.
The real part though, and listen, the Bible teaches you that, like, if you don't follow the Bible like we supposed to, it says we're not supposed to take their daughters nor our sons. Right. Like, if y'all gonna get mad at me because I won't say I date an African, but then you applaud that I won't date a white person, that's the same people. Right. Not the same, that's the same thing, two different nations that we're not supposed to deal with. But the other part, you don't know necessarily by looking at somebody if they're Israel or not. Now, if you suffer from colorism, you'll accept every dark-skinned person and then ignore me because I'm light-skinned. So you judge by who your father is, by who the spirit is. Sometimes you have somebody come into class that they might say they're Israel, but they don't be Israel. And then all it takes is just teaching a few subjects. I've thrown people out of class that they say I'm an Israelite, they get in that room, we say you Ethiopian's gonna get slain by the sword, next thing you know, he falling down the stairs. So we do that type of stuff.
She's not asking him the question, it's time for another question. It's not a back and forth, but they ask him a question.
Next question. Well, hold on, that wouldn't be fair because they may be challenging you because your teaching has more things to challenge. My teaching is unchallengeable, so you're going to get more challenges. But I got something to say on this. As long as we can go on till 6 o'clock, then we got to get out of here.
Just so you know, I don't disagree with you. I'm saying we should put a time limit on the question.
I'm going to be short. Well, let's see how it goes. Ma'am, look, this is kindergarten religion. To say that all black people are Hamites is kindergarten, baby, Bible, babbling religion. First of all, you can't show me one fact where Ham ever existed anywhere. And if he did exist, he's not the progenitor of a whole race because he would have to spend so much time procreating, you wouldn't even have time to read about him. It makes no sense, this Israelite teaching that one tribe is in the island of Dominica, another one is Jamaica. No, you African. You're trying to fight everything you can to deny the fact that you come up off the West African continent, and then you teach a teaching that the white man favors. The white man wants to hear you say, yeah, the black people sold black people into slavery. I mean, the white man is throwing up a white power fist every time he hears that. The only question we need to ask to see who wins this debate today is which teaching does the white man favor most? The anti-African, anti-black teaching that you're hearing from the Bible-toting ISUPK, or the pro-black, pro-African, pro-unity teaching, which includes our children, the Israelites, they are children. Is this teaching better for us and more opposed by the white man than them? That's the only question on the table. Is what he's teaching today, give it to me. You cannot forget what I'm telling you. No. This is, I don't even have to answer no more. Is what being taught today by them favored by John Henry Clark, Yusuf bin Yakinen? No. Malcolm X, who was embraced all over Africa? No. He agrees with me, he doesn't agree with them. Huey P. Newton agrees with me, he don't agree with this. Kwame Nkrumah, one of the great Africans of all time, agrees with me, he rejects this teaching. Kwame Ture, one of the greats of all time, rejects this teaching, and this is their teaching. This ain't even a close fight. If the greatest black men to walk the face of the planet Earth agree with my teaching, then this other teaching, it don't stand a chance other than a cult that are taught to believe anything.
We got like 15 more questions. Let's go. Let's run through this real quick. Next question. Here we go.
Hey, real quick, I got a question for both of y'all. I don't claim to know the epitome of either one of your trains of thought, but I would like to know, do you think that participation by people that follow your train of thought is required in local, state, and federal level government, holding positions at those levels in order to get where you're trying to go?
Good question.
Okay, did you have somebody? Could you repeat the question, please? Because they were talking. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No problem, no problem. Like I said, I don't claim to know the epitome of either train of thought, but does followers of your train of thought, are they required to participate in holding office in local, state, and federal government in order to get where you're trying to go?
No. In our school, we don't believe that you have to do that. I haven't seen, like you see the so-called Jewish, man, they have their own communities because they're able to police themselves. If we didn't allow these other nations into our communities, we wouldn't have to worry about who's the elected councilman, senator, XYZ. We chose to integrate. Our greatest, that like, what you're saying, right, if I was to sum it up as a whole, let's not integrate ever again. Let's not vote again, let's not integrate, and then we'll get our education back, we'll get our business back, we get everything. The only smart thing Martin Luther King ever did was that boycott. Because that boycott represented the only thing that the other nations respect, your dollar. They don't respect you. But if you're able to boycott what they're doing and destroy their society, then they'll give you what you want. Now, when they won that boycott, imagine if they say, okay, it's not enough to sit on the front of the bus. We want this, we want this, we want this, and then boycott other stuff. We would get whatever we want. Right. That's what every other nation does. The Asians got an anti-hate Asian bill passed in 2 weeks. And the airplane. Over one Asian getting assaulted. We've been waiting like 50 years to get an anti-black bill passed because we choose to integrate instead of segregate. Thank you.
A quick word. Nothing of black power and black progress can come from divisive anti-black teachings. No matter what you say of empowerment, it could never, ever, ever come through this route. Not even separation. Because if we were to separate, they would be separating us inside of the separation so they could separate themselves. This teaching could never bring about a good result. Next question.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I have a two-part question, right? I would like to know if any Nigerians, Ghanaians, Congolese, anyone from Africa that is in the village. Could you put your hands up? Not Jamaican. As I said, right? They should answer my question. We are here to support us. My question is to my brother here. You know, we can all identify ourselves as Afro-Americans, West Indians, or even Hebrew Israelites. You said something that struck me. You said, what have Israel, right, have ever done for any civilization? As far as I know, this is the greatest civilization ever. And you and I, brother, whether you call yourself African or we call ourselves Israelites, we have built this great nation on our backs. So this is what we have done. I want to know what you think about that.
You asked me? We rock it together. We brothers.
The captain answer.
We rock it. Okay, you go first.
Oh boy. Let me just show something real fast. When he say if Israel be separated, they would have fights within the separation. I heard him say that a second ago. That's because that's what Islam does. That's what the Black Panther Party does. These brothers you see in here, we don't live in the same area. Tazar's from Staten Island, from Jersey. I don't know him without this truth. This brother Malik is from Houston, as well as Gabba is from Houston. He got brothers from Philly, Syracuse, all over the nation. We're separated from everybody, but we're not separated from each other. Right. Under the guise of that Bible. Now, imagine if everybody in America that was of our people did the exact same thing. When we're saying separate, we're saying join. Zephaniah 2:1 says, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. What I just showed in this presentation is that the Africans do not desire you. Right. Unless they want to appropriate your pain or your dollar. And you know what? That's fine. Let's just not join them. So he might be speaking from his experience of divisions amongst what they are part of, which is plenty. The Nation of Islam is a prime example. That's why he don't want to be with the Nation of Islam, because they're not together. You come in the ISUBK, you will be together. Period.
That is not true. We can clap, but that's not true. You come in the ISPK, you will be in a sectarian cult amongst a small group of black people. If you come in the ISUPK, you will be in a sectarian, appears to be a cult, amongst a small group of people attacking the rest of your people. You will be in a minority attacking the rest of your people. Religion in and of itself is inherently divisive. One person will be saying their God and interpretation is right, and another one. It has been the biggest trick that has been played on African people, and we should not let it stand today. Okay? They're wrong on the scripture. They're wrong on the scripture. When the book says that the chosen people of God, the children of Israel, and let me tell you this, I'm one of the children of Israel. I live in a modern Babylon. I live in a modern Sodom and Gomorrah. I live in where the book is really talking about, the United States of America. The United States of America. The book does not say that a small fraction of our people would be brought out of America. The book says that all of the people would be brought out of this modern Babylon. All of the dry scattered bones, all of the real children of Israel, all of our people. They will be brought out. Who says? All right. He says, only the ISUPK, under him and General Yohannes, who I respect, will be brought out. And only the representative of Jesus Christ, Yohannes, will be brought out. I don't go for that. I say that the unit, that all 40 to 50 million of our people are in America fulfill the scriptures. All of us fulfill the scriptures, not just you. That's not just you.
Next question.
Okay, I'm a visitor here in New York, and I just want to say this. I've listened to both sides of the conversation up here, of the debate, and I think that what really should happen is we all have to learn to get beyond the identification of groups as individuals and come together as a collective people. That's the only way ever going to be collective. In fact, the last thing that the brother just said kind of speaks to where I'm coming from. And I'm saying, until we get beyond that and go back, because we just mentioned 4 million years ago, trillions years ago, why do we keep governing who we are by what we have learned from the short time that a corrupt man has corrupted every damn thing on the planet? And if we don't get back to it and don't start to understand that we're all one, we'll keep playing the games. We keep playing the games with philosophy, what I believe versus what you believe. We have to come to learn the truth, and that truth is who we are from the beginning. Who was the beginning before there was anyone else?
Sorry, brother, I don't mean to be rude. Okay, do you have a question?
I'm going to stop right now.
Yeah, please.
Here's the last thing I'm going to say. I don't know anyone in this room except my grandson that came with me, or I came with him. But here's what I got to say to you. I love you all, and ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
I love you too, brother.
All right, next question.
That's good. Everybody that's online, please.
Let me just say,
Real quick, hold on. Just make sure everybody online, make sure you have an actual question, and when you come up, say who you ask your question to.
okay, what I have to say is that, first of all, let me ask you a question. How do Muslims pray? Do they pray prostrate? Do they put their face to the ground? If they did, then how did Jesus pray? When he left the garden, they said he left the garden, he went further in the garden, and he fell his face towards the ground. Well, wait a minute. What do Muslims speak? Arabic? So what language did Jesus speak?
Hebrew.
Besides Greek?
Hebrew.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I need a chance to rebut something. I mean, that's nice, but can I just...
Hold on, brother. Let's get these questions out of the way. Let's get these questions out of the way.
Hold 1 second. Hold. Because I got to stay on points.
That's right. Put this on record.
Cheering don't matter. Points matter. It was alleged that Khalid Muhammad taught Bible only, which is ridiculous. And to say that he didn't teach about the oneness of all the gods. Now I want you to hear from the master teacher, Khalid Muhammad. And if I win that means the suspect on everything else for my opponent. Now let's listen. And brother, this wasn't belief. I showed you facts. Facts about African and black civilization. Not one fact was refuted. Hold on, now listen to this. Everybody quiet. Khalid Muhammad speaks.
Of the same one God. But a Christian trained by the white man, and most Christians are trained by the white man. A Muslim trained by the white man, the white Arab, and most Muslims are trained by the white Arab, directly or indirectly, will criticize the ancient Africans of Kemet and say that this is a heathen religion. You got many gods. What's all that Amen and Amen Ra, and what's all that old talk about Ptah, and what's all that old talk about this one, and now all them different gods y'all got. You got their pictures all up on the walls and stuff. Christian will criticize. Muslim will criticize. But look at it. Mr. Muslim, Miss Muslim, suppose the world criticized you. You talk about Al-Rahman. You talk about Al-Rahim. You talk about Al-Hakim. You talk about Al-Mumit. You talk about Al-Alim. You talk about 99 different attributes. And one who is unwise would believe that you have 99 different gods. but it's really 99 different expressions and manifestations of the same one God, and the 100th attribute is Allah, which means all in all, which pulls all 99 of the attributes together. Then we go and study the Ephah, the word, the Ephah, or we study the Akan, or we study the Yoruba. And when we study the Ephah, the word, or when we study the Akan or the Yoruba, and we read not from Bible or from Quran, but we read to find which Odu substantiates our position. The scripture, the text is called the Odu scripture, or the Odu text. And when we study the Odu or the Odu text or scripture and validation, we study, and then we study about Orun and the heavenly abode. We study about Olurun, the pure energy, source of all things known and unknown. Ileda, energy and unconditional matter. Or we study about Oludumare, who is supposed to be the supreme Oludumare. Or we study about Orumila. And we study about Orumila. We're talking about the witness of creation and the choice of destiny, or Esu, at the crossroads, or the divine messenger. Let's come back to Christianity. You talk about the Father.
All right, thank you. Let's get these questions out of here real fast.
I clearly win that point. Now let's go on to the next.
All right, here we go. Next question.
I've got a question for Mr. Malik Zulu Shabazz. I was trying to find out, with there being 42 million African Americans according to the 2019 census, right? If we were to unite, right, our population with Africa, how would what's the practical method you would use to send, 42 million African Americans to Africa? Where would we go? And how would you deal with the backlash from you removing the white man's, postal workers and Amazon workers and all of his workforce? You know what I mean?
That would be great, brother. That would be the greatest thing that ever happened. That's a good question, brother. I see we're getting into your mind now. It's much more value in teaching that, in understanding that it's 2 billion Africans on the planet. And if our lives are dedicated to empowering and mobilizing and organizing and building with 2 billion of our brothers and sisters, we will achieve our aims of liberation much, much faster. Okay, that's all I can tell you. All Africans uniting is the way to go, even if you say you got some problems with Africa. And to conclude, my brother said, what if the postal worker or the Amazon workers, or they couldn't survive without us? If 2 billion Africans says that we will leave the white man's capitalist economy and just say we would strike against all Western business interests, like Kwame Ture teaches us, we would bring this white man's world down overnight. If we all said we would go against General Motors, Amazon, we would all unite all our labor and take it away from the white man, 2 billion of us, we would bring this white man down overnight. If 2 billion of us would unite and stop fighting over who's the choice, the Israelite or the Muslim, and fighting against Africa, and 2 billion of us got our minds together and realized that we're one black and African people, we could rule this thing overnight.
All right, next question. Let's go. Hold on, what was my question? Hold on.
What was the method? What was the method to go back?
Right.
To be like
the method to go back first, my brother, is to get your mind right. The only way we're going to get back, as Malcolm X say, physically, is to get back there mentally. And I'm embarrassed that we're up here 2022 still talking bad about Africa, talking bad about our brothers and sisters. This is a night, it sounds like this to 1822. The method is to wake up and unite and don't give the white man an ounce of room in to our family.
All right, next question.
That's the first way in. Politically and everything else can come after that. Yeah, we need leadership and all of that. We need leadership, organizations and all of that. But we ain't gonna get it
sitting up here fighting against each other. Brother Luke is just like me, talking about he different. He look just like me.
Go ahead. Next question.
I want to know, out of all the religions, out of all the cultures in Africa, right? I hear you, I would say over and over, that the Bible is no good. But why would you quote from a baby religion? It was not good. Why would you do that? You must be missing my point.
I'm glad he asked that. I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked that. I said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it's a poison book. I said that a book is dangerous. It's like dynamite. And if an expert is not handling it, and if it's in the hands of baby Bible babblers or children, it causes nothing but division and destruction. However, in the hands of a master teacher, in the hands of somebody that really loves his people and don't hate his people, in the hands of one who is divinely inspired, it can bring us together, but y'all ain't the one. It's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad is the only one that made sense out of this book, and you got your teaching from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But you only took part of it. You only took the white man as the devil and the Bible teachings, but you didn't get all of Elijah. And Elijah Muhammad and Khalid Muhammad is the only ones qualified to teach this book, and I am their students. And I've quoted more Bible than him today. But I'm quoting it the right way. And I am a Hebrew Israelite, but I'm an African Hebrew Israelite, not an Israelite like you.
We are Israel. We are Israel.
We did an excellent job today. Remember, the subject was trust Africa, the Bible. This nigga trusting the Bible more and more every day. He said, I'm an Israelite. At best, thank you. He definitely don't trust Africa. He said the Bible, if we take the Bible out of the baby people that don't understand the Bible's hands and put it in the right hands, that's our liberation. Right. That's the body bag of the debate. I'm gonna make a clip out of it. That's pretty much a done deal. At best, what he'll say is we might have a different understanding of the Bible because he want to include Africans. But make no mistake, the Bible is his liberation too. Let me correct something about Elijah Muhammad. If you follow Elijah Muhammad, then your God is an Arab or a white man. Right. That's Allah. Allah fought Muhammad, who they say was Allah in the flesh, is either from New Zealand, which makes him white, or like his book says, Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan called him an Arab. So now you're putting another nation as your God. So if you go with one notion, the white man is your God now, that's your Allah. You go with another notion, Allah and Arab is your God. But he's talking about Africans. So how can you be about Africans and Arabs? So he's still putting a foreign God over you. Elijah Muhammad didn't teach nothing except kill your brother, be against your brother. That's all he ever taught. In the Israelite school of UPK, and let me say this, no Israelite, no matter what issue they had, ever murdered that other Israelite over a disagreement. They might separate from each other, but they never murdered each other over a disagreement. Never tried to kill him. Khalid Muhammad got shot. I guarantee. Matter of fact, y'all ever see that picture of Malcolm X with the gun in his hand? Y'all ever see that picture of Malcolm X with the gun in his hand? That's not for the white man. That's for other Muslims. That's what that teaches. That teaches murder. It doesn't teach the truth. So,
hey, to this family, sorry, my apologies, no more questions. All right, no more questions. We're going to have closing arguments, yeah.
Well, like 2 minutes, I ain't really got a lot of closing. Okay, so, you want to go first? Malik?
Man, I'm getting a cramp from teaching up here so hard. My damn back is cramping.
He should concede, Cap. He should concede.
Even though I don't know what to concede. Y'all holler. Y'all just like Negro Christians in church.
You a Christian?
question too.
No, I ain't. I'm using the Bible. Let me conclude here, so I can show you what was not addressed. This is an embarrassing. This is.
Yo, tell him to be quiet.
Yeah, y'all gotta be quiet so we can finish. Let's be quiet so we can finish. We talking the Bible here because we are most Bible toters. Let me be clear with you. I'm quoting your book to show you I know your book as good as you, maybe better. Okay, now, what was not rebutted here is the reason why I win this debate and why we must trust Africa. I proved beyond a reasonable doubt, and not one shred of evidence was offered to prove that Africa is the mother of civilization, mathematics, arts, science, engineering, theology, and religion, and it's the origin of the Israelite religion. And the Bible, the reason why I quote it, the reason why I quote it is because it's an African book. No refutation at all that Africa is your mother, and that the African black man and woman is your father, that your book, your teaching, and your doctrine all come from Africa. We are your mother and your father. Nothing was offered to refute that. The Passover, the Exodus, the allegation that Kemetics or Egyptians were enslavers was not refuted at all. I destroyed them on that point. That's the basis of everything. You have nothing coming on that. That's why you gotta trust Africa, trust Kemet. Kemet not the slave master. That's a lie. There was nothing to rebut. There was nothing to rebut the allegation that the white man brings the Bible to Nigeria, Ghana, and all over African countries, and his teaching is the same as the Israelite. God in Christ, or else you're going to hell. God in Christ, or unless you're a savage. God in Christ. Christ is a Greek word. And still run around hollering about Jesus. Nothing was made to rebut that fact that this teaching is the same as the white missionary Bible-toting teaching. I didn't hear anything to refute it. I said that the Israelites of the Bible, or the Jews of the Bible, have contributed nothing to civilization when you compared it to Africa. Nothing was brought forth. No temples, no artifact, no math, no science have they given. Why would you connect yourself to something that haven't given anybody anything? Why would you be against yourself and you're the father of civilization? That's mind-blowing to me. I said, as I conclude, I said that my brothers in the Hebrew Israelite tradition have not contributed anything directly to the liberation struggle due to a narrow-minded, divisive teaching that I may add that Christ came to condemn. So therefore, you missed the 1960s. Ain't no story of no Israelites fighting against segregation, fighting to wake African people up. Where's the Malcolm X Israelite? Where's the Marcus Garvey Israelite? Where's the Israelite Khalid Muhammad? Where are the heroes that fight for our people? They have been taught. They have been taught not to give a damn about our people. So therefore, they ain't got no heroes. I mean, they went to Haiti last week. Let's give them a hand. Now, to conclude, my sisters and brothers, as I conclude, we must, I don't see what point I could lose this debate on. We must trust Africa first above the Bible, and if we do put any trust in the Bible, it's because we look at it from an African liberation perspective. That's it. Africa reigns supreme. Black reigns supreme. Let us stop the division. Stop being against each other. Stop attacking our brothers and sisters on the street. Stop being divided. Stop pleasing the white man by teaching against Africa. Stop being against yourself. You've never been to Africa. I've been to Africa. Stop hating yourself and love yourself. Africa and black above all. Black power? Black power. This is what the new Black Panther Party is teaching, You can get our information in the back. I'll be happy. I turn it to my brother. This is my brother. I love him. We got differences, but I respect him. He stood up like a man here today, and we went toe to toe. And y'all too, man. I've talked some strong stuff. But look, man, Khalid Muhammad came by y'all spot, and privately, me and Khalid loved y'all, not for this bad parts you teaching, but for the parts of the teaching that you teach that we like. And I hope to see y'all again. Just please stop teaching this anti-black teaching.
I won't give another Martin Luther King speech like the brother. The debate subject was, do we trust Africa or not? Do we trust the Bible or not? By the end of this debate, he trusts the Bible right along with me. I believe he said if we can show him to trust the Bible, he would convert all his people, so I expect to see them. And that's not our people. Our people don't talk. No, it ain't. No. Not my people. Anyway. So, you're going to talk while I'm talking. I appreciate it. So, in conclusion, he didn't show any, all the stuff that he said I had to rebuttal, what he was supposed to show is one reason we should trust Africa. And he did not present anything. I presented 4 examples of why we should never trust them again. So I appreciate y'all coming out. I won't be long-winded. With that, men of Israel, I imagine. Imam Shabazz. I imagine. Barak.
Remember, we got vendors in the back before we all leave. We got the cat.
Support the vendors. Buy everything you can buy from the vendors. Buy everything you can buy from the vendors.